evening, everyone. The highlights of the news this Thursday. Traffic accidents. A Beaver County man is being held for murder. And more later.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Snodacast. I am your host, BlackShat56, and I am joined by the wonderful, the axe-wielding maniac, the dwarvish one himself, Locke.
Dwarvish?
Wow, the tall dwarf.
Does it really count as dwarves if you're taller than like 5'5"?
He's half dwarf, half giant. There.
Then what's your excuse?
What's my excuse?
He's just
I'm
dwarf.
just a white guy. And of course, we're also joined by Gallows, aka Thomas.
Yo.
Half
what's up?
asleep one himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long day.
No, I haven't been to bed yet. Like,
Fuck you
haven't
mean
been-
you haven't been to bed yet?
I haven't been to bed yet. Like, I've been
Jesus
up
Christ,
since
dude,
yesterday.
go to sleep. After this, go the fuck to sleep.
Do I need to
I
come
gotta
tuck
Before I
you
get
in?
down there and knock you the fuck out myself. Don't worry about it, Locke. I'm closer to him. Before I get down there and knock you the fuck out in about 4 hours.
I was just gonna come tuck you in, but that works too.
I mean, I could tuck in. Can I get a little kiss too?
right on the forehead. Just
Yeah. Except it's gonna be from the lips that you don't want. The very, very tiny ones.
Oh.
At the end of something that you definitely don't want touching your face.
No.
Am I wrong, Locke?
look, it's
Am I wrong?
only weird
if you
if you
make
stare.
Then he gets a little excited, and then that's just gonna make it awkward for everybody.
Yeah.
Very
My-
awkward opening out of the way. We are going to go ahead and go directly into weekly updates. This is the part of the show where we basically talk about how our weeks have been and just kind of get it out of the way, get everybody kind of comfortable. So, Locke, I got to ask you the age-old question of, how was your week?
Well, considering it's already Thursday, feels like it's gone by very quickly.
That it has.
That has.
Like I worked Saturday, Sunday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and now I'm off until Sunday. I'm going to a concert tomorrow though.
Oh, that sounds like fun. What
Oh.
band?
I'm going to go see Ailstorm.
Nice.
Yep.
I'd
Gonna
kill you
go-
if it was Ice Nine Kills. I'd kill you and take ticket.
That'd be impressive considering the distance.
I know. I have ways.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't question things.
Yeah, it's
Just
going to
don't worry
be
about
Ailstorm and Elven King.
Nice.
Sounds awesome.
It'll be good. It'll be a good show.
Is it like on the same realm as like dwarf metal? Because it sounds close to that.
Elven King?
Yeah, Elven King does, yeah.
It's like fantasy metal.
Fantasy metal. Okay, so kind of in the same realm as dwarf. I guess dwarf metal is more of an offshoot of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was
And,
anything such thing as dwarf metal or fantasy metal. What? Okay.
And Ailstorm
dwarf
is just
metal is the
pirate
thing.
metal.
There's literally a song where it's like, I am a dwarf and I'm digging.
Yeah, that's
a
actually
hole.
a
Dig,
cover
dig,
of
you
an
hole.
old song.
That's a what?
It's a cover. Like the
Oh, is it?
Windrose version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
that's
saw
cover.
a meme. I saw a meme of that. It was my neighbor calls the cops. Hello, and it's like, hey, my neighbor is. I would like to file a noise complaint. My neighbor is playing very violent music, and it's that song playing. I'm like, I would be that neighbor.
And do you guys know of Ailstorm at all?
No.
Hailstorm sounds familiar, but I
They're
can't name a
pirate
song
metal.
off the top of my head. They're what?
Pirate metal.
Pirate metal.
Alright, bro. Pirate metal. So there's nothing but heavy metal shanties, basically.
Kinda. I would.
Kinda, yeah.
I would
imagine
assume
girl
so,
songs,
'cause-
too.
But they're just fun bands. They're fun to listen to, and they're an
Yeah.
acquired taste.
Of course.
Like especially Ailstorm. It's either you like them or you don't. There's no in between.
I guess it depends on what your taste with pirates is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Mhm.
Man, look, pirates have failed to be anything good in this modern age.
I don't know. There's a few things with pirates that have been okay.
I mean, Pirate Bay's been pretty good, depending on who you ask.
Well,
Which
no,
one?
because what I mean is like Somalian pirates. It's just like,
Oh,
you guys are supposed to be pirates. Where's the big ass boat?
the times.
So have
have
y'all
changed,
already
my
up in,
friend.
like,
You don't
little
need a big
canoe?
ass boat. A big ass boat is technically slow compared to a small speedboat.
This is true.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask the pirates, they're the good guys.
Of course. Why wouldn't they be? They're liberating people of their own goods.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
looking for what they need to survive.
Yeah, my ass. They're taking for what they need to get drugs, but that's a different story.
I never said what I said was correct.
Yeah, I know.
You never said it was incorrect either.
All right, so Gallows as your week.
Tiring. I've been up for the last technically 24 hours. Haven't been asleep.
Just unable to sleep, or
Yeah. So when I was younger, I ended up getting diagnosed with like severe insomnia, I guess.
that'll do it. I will
So
tell
I
you
was
a
taking
cool trick.
medication for like a minute, and then I
Oh,
stopped.
yeah, that'll do it.
'Cause
So
it's
it's
like
finally
you
getting
can't
back to
really,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. So I will tell you this, because I used to know a couple. They both had insomnia. So what they would do is they would sleep for a few hours, like 2 hours. They would try to force themselves to sleep for 2 hours, and then when they woke up, they do something, maybe like go for a brisk walk around the house or read something, do something that doesn't involve a screen, and then go back to sleep for another 2 hours, and then do that as much as they could before they had to go to work.
Yeah, I
Probably
find that like I swear I have insomnia. There's no other question about it. But I find that the intermittent sleeping is helpful.
Yeah. I mean,
Sleep for 2-3 hours, wake up for half an hour, do something.
the hard part about it sleeping with me is if I sleep, I sleep for like 2 to 3 hours, get up, and then I'm like not able to sleep the rest of the night
Yeah,
because my energy's just there for now.
that's me.
Yeah, that's
It
fair
mostly,
enough.
so I don't know, but yeah, it's been nothing but work and trying to get some sleep.
I
Right now,
understand
I'm just waiting for my landlord to show up so I can pay my rent, and then that's it. Then I'm just gonna
you don't have
doze
like
off
an
the rest of the
automatic
night.
payment thing with them, or no?
Not so they're like an older couple.
Oh, so they just prefer to knock on the door, and
Yeah, get the money
okay.
like that. Yeah,
And
so
there's
that's
no
what
way
I
for you
do.
to just put it in an envelope with your name on it and your room number, and then just slide it underneath their door or put it in a mailbox, something like that.
Oh no, they don't live. They don't live around here.
Oh,
They're like entrepreneurs in a way.
oh,
I'm not.
okay. So
I'm not
I
kidding you.
guess that makes sense. So I'm
The dude,
assuming it's a very small apartment.
yeah, the dude
Okay.
owns like several like duplexes,
Oh,
houses,
so is that
and
what
like
you have? Is a
condos.
duplex or
No apartment.
apartment? Okay. Okay, well, that
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Well,
and then for him to
uh,
give me a call, I was like, "Oh, I'm here." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I can just give him the rent, pay
yeah.
the rent, and then come back up here and crash out for the rest of the night.
Sounds like a plan. All
Sounds solid to
right.
me.
Yeah. Well, not that any of you care, but no, my week.
I mean,
No, I'm kidding. So my week's been
No, you're
okay.
right. I don't care. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Um, Anyways, so my week has not been the worst. It's actually been pretty decent. So I only worked technically so far 2 days this week, unless you count last weekend, or if you count this weekend, I technically worked 4. So I had some days off. I technically was supposed to work Wednesday, so yesterday as of this recording, but I called out because A, I slept in, and I was like, and B, by the time I would have gotten there, I would have been like 30 minutes late. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I really don't feel like getting in there at 6:30 in the morning. It's pointless, and they're just gonna run me to the ground anyways. And so I was like, I called out. But luckily I sounded like this, and I had a really bad congestion cough. So I actually had the perfect fucking excuse because all I did was force a cough every now and then. So I sounded exactly like this. So that was fun.
The Candon's difference there.
The
Like,
Canon's difference, yeah.
yeah, it's
Not much.
no, it's night and day, honestly.
Oh, is it?
That
Yeah,
your
yeah.
normal tone is a lot more,
Yeah, it's a lot more jovial, a lot more bright. Yeah.
yeah,
No.
a higher tone to it, and then
Well, it's funny is I already have a
then it's
little bit of a
just very
baritone
much
to my voice anyways because I do smoke cigars and I do drink on occasion. And if I drink, I drink not heavily, but I would drink heavier stuff, especially when I'm smoking. So like, and I've
I'm an
done that
alcoholic and just
since
doesn't want to admit it.
no, I actually had the last drink I had was a beer last night, and before that,
Look,
it would have been
It's okay. It's okay.
a margarita,
It's a hard
like
first.
a few
It's
weeks
a
ago.
hard first step. You
Do I
got
look
this.
like an alcoholic? I've been drinking since I
Do you
was
want?
21, Gallows. I've been telling it's been 4 years. I don't have any
I've been
signs of being
drinking.
an alcoholic. Trust me.
I've been drinking since I was like 13. I mean, I might have signs of an alcoholic, but still,
Nah, not really. You'd have
no.
if it was like huge hardcore alcohol abuse, you'd have like red splotches on your nose and cheeks.
Nah, I'm just joking. I don't have addiction. My
No.
family has trouble with addiction, so I try not to like drink like that.
I do have an addictive personality, but
Yeah, you do.
shut up.
I
No,
mean,
like I can get addicted on stuff. Like I'm super addicted with movies, since the reason this podcast exists. But
nicotine.
yeah, so like that's my hyper focus, right? I can talk about movies all day. I can talk about video games. I've gotten to the point where I can talk about computers all day, like building PCs, because I finally built one. Haha.
I
But
actually had to replace my SSD the other week.
I need to get another SSD. I need to get a 2.5 SSD. But so so technically I can get addicted to cigar, like nicotine and stuff like that. But for me, I never really got on cigarettes first. I got on cigars and pipe smoking.
Damn, you went straight to the heavy shit, bro.
Well, cigars, here's the funny thing. So the main thing that I would argue, yes, nicotine can cause cancer if you overdo it, for sure, but it's kind of hard to overdo a cigar. I did 3 cigars in one setting at one point within like the span of 2 hours, and I had the biggest fucking headache, and I damn near slept for 8 hours, or I damn near slept for like 10 to 12 hours. It was
So,
bad.
do you know the difference between cigarettes and nicotine itself and tobacco?
So I can tell you the difference between cigarettes and cigars. Cigarettes are filtered and held together with tar and a shitload of other, and by tar I mean like a shitload of bad chemicals for you, and that's
Yeah,
what
that's the
usually
reason why.
kills cigarette smokers.
Yeah,
Is the
that's the reason
tar.
why you get
The
cancer.
other chemicals,
Tar.
whereas a cigar is literally just
It's
tobacco
just
wrapped
pure
up in.
tobacco
natural.
leaves. Now,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, nicotine can cause cancer and it can be addictive, but if it's just pure, unfiltered, straight up nicotine, usually you're not going to get it as bad. That's why technically dipping is technically better for you, but even then, like packaged dip, like if you're just going to get like pipe tobacco and dip that, you should be perfectly fine for the most part.
Yeah, I'll just stick to these.
We don't recommend it, obviously. Those are probably the most addictive things for you. And
they
they're
are
probably
the
the
most
worst
addictive
thing
things.
for you. That honestly, vaping has gotten to the point where they've realized it's probably worse for you than cigarettes.
Oh, this isn't vape.
Oh, it's not? What is it?
Oh, it's
Oh, okay.
Little
So,
pre-rolls
oh, okay. Perfect.
because it's legal here.
Bastard. Anyways,
Just come
but
visit.
no, like, yeah, so I mean that's what it comes down to. But anyways, that's the reason why I can go from this to this. Like I can just immediately go to this. It's not as loud, obviously, but like I can go down to here, and that's about where I go. So yeah, I can sound sick at any point I want. It's actually kind of a lot of fun.
Somebody might be getting a little wet here and there when she hears your
Shut
voice.
the fuck up, Gallows. Anyway,
All right.
so my
All right,
You're right.
my point
I'm
being,
done.
that whole ass side tangent about nicotine and cigars,
Yeah.
whole ass side tangent later. My week was so I've started working out again, which has helped
Really?
my mood significantly, as well as the reason why I was coughing up stuff is because I ran and I had a lot of congestion left over from winter, so it was all coming out. So I'm still coughing it up, but not as bad. You should have heard me fucking
Man,
Tuesday, man.
I hate
Oh
that.
my god, it was bad.
I hate the taste of like fucking when you
when you
cough
cough up
cold.
mucus. Ugh,
Yeah,
it's the worst.
because it's like
Yeah.
tastes like fucking acid plus whatever else you had in your fucking system.
No, it's usually not acid. That's
Nothing.
only if it's in your stomach. It's usually in your lungs.
I
I
had
don't taste the acid.
I had a sneeze earlier today when I was on my way home from work because I work night shift, and is at a red light sneeze, and I could just feel all the pressure in my sinuses just
Alleviate.
melt away, and I'm just
Oh, that is the best sneeze, but it hurts the absolute most when it happens.
See that one didn't hurt.
Yeah, it's rare that you get those. Well, depending on the person. For me,
99% of the time my sneezes hurt.
Yeah, like you feel it in your chest.
Yeah, and then like reverberates through your bones.
Oh man, I had the one.
worst.
I've had the sneeze where it hurts your upper shoulders and arms, like there's no tomorrow.
like you threw out your back or something. Oh, those
No,
are
no,
the
no, no,
worst
no. It's like
sneezes,
you carry something like it was 3 times your weight for some odd
yeah.
reason.
I've had
And
those
yeah,
before.
it's just
Those
like those
sneezes.
are just fucking
Mine-
horrible. So it's
Yeah.
like,
I can
okay.
feel like the strain of muscle through my shoulders, my back.
Yeah,
I can feel it reverberate through my like arms.
if I sneeze hard enough and if I'm not feeling well, it literally feels like someone's shooting pepper shots at my muscle strands as they're pulling it.
No
Like
thanks.
I feel every bit of them. Like
No thanks.
So
I'll
to
pass
me,
on that.
when I sneeze and I get that pain in my upper arms and shoulders, that
that's the
pain
worst. Yeah.
that pain is like somebody sitting there just stabbing with salt and lime in it.
Oh yeah, it's the worst.
It's like,
I've
yeah,
only
it just
had like
burns. It's
maybe
like,
one or
yo,
two
like
sneezes
why?
like that, and it's bad. I did have one sneeze though, that was so powerful. I was really having some bad back pain, like like whenever you got to pop your back but you can't do it. Remember one time I
Yeah.
sneezed so violently it actually popped my back. I was like, oh my god,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it hurt
really
like hell,
Good
but it made it
stuff.
work.
It relieves all that massive pressure from your upper back for some odd reason.
Oh yeah, and then you relieve it. It's the best. But anyways, before this becomes the old man podcast. Uh anyways, before it becomes that, so my week, so I did work out, and then a buddy of mine, he is a friend of the show. If you've ever watched any of the Snowda reels, he is known as Awesome Ben Boy 711, aka Benji. He has started production on a film, and I am going to be a part of it. It is a short studio film. It's called Punk. I have a non-speaking role, but I do get to whoop his ass, so that's gonna be fun. So
do you need a hand?
What's up?
I said, do you need a hand?
No, I'm good. I can whoop his ass funny. He's about 3 inches shorter than me, so we're good. But no,
How
so that's
tall
why
are
he
you?
actually has me, because he's like, I'm a bigger build than he is. Which granted, part of it is because I'm 3 inches taller than him, and I actually do have more mass. I just even it out. Like
How
I'm not.
tall are
Most
you?
of my mass is not in my stomach. It actually evens out. So when I tell people I weigh as much as I do, which is close to 270, they don't
Yeah,
believe it.
I'm the same way actually.
Yeah. It's when you get to a certain height, like certain weights don't look the same, and especially
Like
if people are smaller than you.
I'm 6'2", so
Yeah.
Well, that
I
explains a
guarantee
whole
you
lot.
probably weigh more than 270, don't you?
no, I'm about 265. I jump between 260 and 270.
I was gonna say, yeah, I jump between that. That's what I've been jumping between lately. But I started back up cardio because he wants to. For the fight scenes, you got to have a certain amount of stamina, and I know for a fact my stamina is low. So he said, "Hey, the main thing I want you to do is just start building up stamina if you need to." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." But the way you wrote this character, it is a bigger character. So I'm thinking I kind of want to not necessarily go as far as Tom Hardy did for Bane, because he actually said that was the worst experience he have ever had,
I
because he
want to
had to
get
do it in
built like
such a
that.
short amount of time. And this is another one where it's going to be done in a short amount of time. But I want to try and bulk up as much as I can while building that endurance. That's the main thing I want to do.
Well, if you make this like some type of career, it's always go ahead, just go
It's
do
not a
stuff.
career, but I do want to try to put as much effort as I can into this, because he is my buddy and I want him to. This is what he wants to go into for a career, is being a filmmaker. So I want to try to give him as much of a professional experience as I can.
Absolutely.
That's my part as a friend.
I want to hit
So.
that Kratos build.
Dude, I would kill for the Kratos
Wait,
build.
old man Kratos or young man Kratos?
Old man.
Either. I'm cool with either.
Young man would just be way too
So
hard
then-
to maintain.
Young man is like if Walter Goggins took steroids. I feel like that's young man Kratos.
Like that is your bodybuilder kind of build,
Yeah. That's
which
for your
is-
young 20, 22-year-old bodybuilder. That's like,
which is not sustainable.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they
Whereas-
kind of let him lose his abs a little bit when he got older.
Whereas
Fucking
old man
Kratos is like a bodybuilder type of bodybuilder.
I would say old
he'd
man
be more of
Kratos is
a,
still bodybuild just because the pure muscle mass.
He'd be more
but-
power lifter build.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say it's more of a power lifter. Yeah, maybe less gut, because I know a lot of power lifters
Fred.
have a
Is his
huge
name
gut.
Fred? I can't remember his name. Damn, I know there's.
I know the guy who played the Mountain would be like a good example. Like maybe if he went on a cut.
Oh, Hafthor Bjornsson.
Yeah, Hafthor
Mhm.
Bjornsson. If he went on a cut, I feel like he'd be the perfect build for Kratos. Like if he ever
Which
went on like
he
a,
actually
like a
did.
cut.
'Cause
did he go on a
started
cut?
getting into boxing, him and Eddie Hall.
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be interesting.
They went into big cuts. Like I can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're still in the podcast. Just show me later. But yeah, so my week has been okay, and I'm actually excited because I'm gonna go see Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire tomorrow after this recording. So Friday, I get to go see that with my lovely girlfriend. She has been on the show. Her name is Hannah. So I get to go see that with her tomorrow night, and I'm looking forward to that. Even though I've heard mixed to not negative, but like mixed reviews on it. I have heard that. Um, so I feel that is perfectly fine. Oh yeah, no, that's like Kratos build 100% right there. That's
Oh,
old
yeah.
man Kratos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that
he
is
cut.
wow. And that was his cut?
Yeah.
Dude, that's perfect. I mean, like a little bit more on that. I mean, granted, with a cut, I know sometimes he probably just finished working out with that photo, so that's probably why they look as defined as they do.
But I mean,
But
look
yeah,
at that
like
man's
that's
legs. Look at
pitch
those.
fucking perfect.
Look at those hams.
Dude, I'm telling you. That is insane. That is genuinely fucking insane. Did you send it to Gallows as well?
No, I didn't. I
Okay,
don't
send it
have
to
him
Gallows.
on.
You should. Just send me in. I'll just look at it after this.
Yeah. But no, like that's insane, man. But anyways, so long ass
Fucking
opening
tangent.
and weekly updates segment. 20 minutes on. We are
Damn.
now gonna go into now showing. Speaking of which, now showing this week, we are gonna talk about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I plan on seeing this the day after this recording, which is Thursday. So by next podcast, I should have my thoughts already. But from right now, from what I've seen, it looks like I'm very excited that we're getting a new Ghostbuster or a new ghost for the Ghostbusters to go after. I'm very excited about that because it looks cool. It looks creepy. It reminds me a little bit of the OG, like how Gozer was kind of creepy but still looked cool. You know, even Vigo never looked creepy, mind you, but like he looked cool. You know, that kind of thing. So I'm glad that they're not like going off of nostalgia. They're not just going straight for Vigo. They're doing something. I think as the creator said that they went for more of like a villain that you would see on the real Ghostbusters cartoon. So I'm like, oh, okay, so that's awesome. I love that element. You know, you are bringing back some classic ghosts. In one of the trailers, we do see the library ghost, which is awesome. I actually have her right here in Funko Pop form. And of course, Slimer's coming
one of the
back.
most funniest ghosts, besides the one that throws up everywhere.
Talk about Slimer?
Yeah.
The Green Ghost? The one that's based off of John Belushi?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
is he actually?
So, yeah, he is. The original creators said he was always supposed to be John Belushi's ghost. Because when Dan Aykroyd was writing the script, it was supposed to be him, Eddie Murphy, and John Belushi. We're supposed to be the three. And then they split it off into four whenever they realized when Harold Ramis got on. And then they got Ernie Hudson because they couldn't get Eddie Murphy. And then they also got they were never sure about Bill Murray, so they were a lot of Winston's lines became Venkman, and that's why Winston only shows up about halfway through the movie. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's part of the reasons why. It's actually a super interesting idea. Or like if you got Netflix, I highly recommend watching a show called The Movies That Made Us. They only have a handful. I think it's only like 5 or so episodes. Each
They have like 2 whole seasons worth of that.
They're
like
only about
5
5 or 6
episodes
episodes per season. So like I was able to watch it pretty much within 2 days, and that's between work too. So I highly recommend it. It's very interesting, especially if you're a huge movie nerd. Like they talk about Back to the Future, they talk about Home Alone, they talk about The Nightmare Before Christmas, I believe they talk about Nightmare on Elm Street if I'm not mistaken. I know for a fact they talk about Ghostbusters. They talk about Jurassic Park. They talk about so many movies, and it's from the same people that did The Toys That Made Us, as well as I believe what was the other one they did? They have like a couple of like The Blank That Made Us kind of shows, and they're all super interesting. Highly recommend them if you got it. I know we're all on kind of a fuck Netflix vibe, but like if you got a bootleg it. Oh wait, we don't condone
bootlegging.
For legal reasons, that was a joke.
Yeah, for legal reasons, that was a joke. But for personal reasons, fuck it, do it. But that's a different story. So, anyways, my point being, love Ghostbusters if you can't tell. I actually have the entire Ghostbusters Funko Pop set from the original. So, like, I have the 35 anniversary. So I have Stay Puft, I have Library Ghost, I have I have Slimer. And of course, I have all 4 of the guys. I got them right here. I just keep them over here because like I don't really have a spot to put them in, but I have all 4 of them. You know, Venkman, Egon, Ray, and Winston.
Mhm.
So, and if you guys are ever, you know, like, of course, if you guys are watching this in a visual format, usually we're now uploading on Spotify. So maybe we'll eventually get a video format. Yes, we are. Because YouTube fucked us. But in case we ever do get on YouTube, for legal reasons, that's a joke. For personal reasons, I said what I said. But
That my previous statement.
yeah, yeah, I said what I said for personal reasons, but for legal reasons, it was a joke. Anyways, that being said, I do highly love Ghostbusters. I grew up with it as a kid, and I kind of discovered it by myself. I didn't really have my dad, my stepdad never really, he liked movies, but he wasn't like obsessed with them, and I didn't live with my father. So, like my dad, my biological dad, the thing that he and I connected with was Star Trek and Lord of the Rings. That was kind of our thing. My mom was Star Wars and Harry Potter. So those were the things that my mom and I connected on. My biological dad was Star Trek and Lord of the Rings. So
Man,
I
there
kind
is
of
a
discovered
nerd.
Ghostbusters on my own. That was my main thing. Like I found it at my aunt's house. I watched the first one, and it actually terrified me as a kid. I was terrified of the library ghost. It
Really?
genuinely scared me. So much so that I honestly I almost did not finish it. And my aunt told me like, no, go back in there and finish it. That's the scariest part of the entire movie. Don't worry about it. I said, okay. Little did she mention the terror dogs, but that's a different story. So no,
The terror dogs threw me off on the original movie. I was like, they're a little terrifying, but not
they will
that
never
terrifying.
capture it again. That is my personal thought process. They will never capture that magic again. The second one I have a soft spot for because I liked it more as a kid. As an adult, I like it less. But I do genuinely still have a great appreciation for it. The 2016 one, for one side's reasons, I'm going to say it was a masterpiece. For another side's reasons, I'm going to say it was absolute dog shit. And for my reason, I'm going to say it's okay. It's fine. It exists.
All right.
Do I own
It's
it?
ridiculous.
No. Do I have a digital copy of it because my mom got it? Yeah. But like that's really about it. Would I ever watch it again? No.
No, not really.
I maybe
I
watched
didn't.
like the climax again because the climax was a lot of fun where you see all the different types of ghosts. They have all the gadgets. I was like, okay, that's actually really fun.
The most annoying part about that whole series was what's his name playing a fucking himbo. That kind of annoying.
Hemsworth playing a himbo. I thought that was the funniest part of the entire movie, honestly.
I don't know why. That just that was like super annoying. It's
So-
just like, really?
He had 1 or 2 jokes that were actually genuinely funny, and then they kept going and made him way too damn dumb. That's the part that annoyed me. Like there's one point where he's literally he scratches his eye through the glasses because he has no lens, and they ask him like, oh, so why no glasses lens, or like why no lens in the glasses? And he goes, oh well, they just kept getting dirty, so I just threw them out. I'm like, that's genuinely funny. I love that. Like he still wears them, but it's like, oh, they just kept getting dirty, so I took them out. I'm like, that's funny. And then
I
he gets
like that.
covers his eyes and he's loud. That's very loud. And I'm like, and you made him too stupid. So
Yeah.
he is like, that's the thing. There's like any genuinely funny joke is followed by an unfunny joke, and I fucking hate it for that reason. But the action's a lot of fun. I'll give it that. Like any of the action, genuinely a lot of fun. And I love the ghosts. They look like the Saturday cartoon. Like there is enjoyment in that movie. It's not completely garbage, and it's not anywhere close to a masterpiece. Anybody who says that is a fucking liar. Anyways, so now on to Ghostbusters Afterlife. Highly, highly enjoy it. It's a great direct sequel to the originals. Love it. Has it lost a little bit of its magic? Yeah, there are some elements that don't really hold up as well whenever you see it the first time. But I would say arguably it's a well-deserved movie. It deserves its place in the Ghostbusters lineup, and I give it all the credit for that. So I'm looking forward to see what this one does. I like some of the ghost designs. I love the idea that we're back in New York. It has been about 2 years since the last movie. I like that a lot of the older cast is coming back for sure. They're not hiding it. And I do love that the younger cast is getting to interact with the older cast more. I love that. Now, I have heard Bill Murray is still nothing but cameos. Like he'll show up for a few moments, disappear, and then show up for a few moments more, disappear.
Isn't
And
Bill
then
Murray known to be like a
he's
hard
kind of
dude
a
to
major
work with?
douche, yeah, but he's also one of the biggest elements of charm from the original. Like you can't
Oh,
just
that's cool.
rely on Ernie. Don't get me wrong, Ernie Hudson is fucking awesome. I love Ernie Hudson. I enjoy the hell out of Dan Aykroyd, but you cannot rely on those two and make it a Ghostbusters movie.
Correct.
You gotta have
That's cool.
Venkman. There is no Ghostbusters without Bill Murray. As much as it may pain some people, like hell, he's the reason why we never got Ghostbusters 3. Because he kept saying no.
Oh yeah, there's
He
like
literally kept
two.
saying no.
Yeah, he's
And
a
then
bit of a
Harold
diva,
Ramis-
isn't he?
What?
He's a bit of a diva, isn't he?
Not really a diva. He's just kind of a
Hard dude to work
I guess
with.
diva is a good word to put it. You know, he's just kind of a self-absorbed dick. From what I've been told, he's not as bad as Chevy Chase. Like I heard Chevy Chase is
Really?
out of all that, like that era of SNL, he is one of the biggest dickholes to come out of that. Granted, he kind of had the biggest career. I mean, Bill Murray had a pretty big career, but like Chevy Chase had the career out of that entire lineup of SNL.
Bill Murray was more known for like his comedy than other serious
Well, all of
roles.
them were, yeah. You know, like
I'm just
he
trying
had
to
some
think
serious
of
roles, but he didn't get
what
serious roles until like the 90s and early 2000s. Honestly,
I'm trying to think of what Chase was in.
the National Lampoon's Vacation movies.
Oh, okay.
He had those. He was in the first Caddyshack. So was Bill Murray, but he was a side role.
Caddyshack.
Yeah. So no, I love Caddyshack, by the way. Caddyshack
Okay, so just looking him up, just the
Yeah.
moment I see the face, I know exactly who that is.
yeah,
now.
Chevy Chase. Yeah, he had the like glorious butt chin before he gained the weight. Now
He's
just look like a
80 years
nipple on his
old.
neck. He's what?
He's 80 years old.
I know, it's insane. You know, it's sad.
Hmm.
Bill Murray and Samuel L. Jackson are the same age.
You lie. I
I
thought
do
Bill was
not
a lot older. I thought Bill was a
No.
lot older than
Bill
Samuel.
Murray did so much drugs that he looks
Oh,
older than
yeah.
he is. He was a notorious drug fiend. I think
Oh yeah,
he.
that's right. It was the
That's
80s.
part of the reason why. Towards the end of Zombieland 2, he said, like, you know, that bit where it's like, we just got to ask you, why Garfield 3? He says, can I be brutally honest? Drugs aren't cheap. There's a reason why they made that joke. Like, and that's the number one thing that made me laugh. Like, there was a lot of things that made me laugh in Zombieland 2. That actually I genuinely laughed throughout that movie, but that still to this day makes me laugh. There's a few things in Zombieland 2 that don't make me laugh as much or as hard, but that still makes me laugh so goddamn hard. I love that line. Especially because it's like he's doing a promotion for Garfield 3. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, I love that. And you know he's absolutely fucking miserable.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's so funny. Yeah, you just see the deadness in his eyes and I'm like, yeah, that's genuinely funny. I like that, you know. Anyways, the Ghostbusters Afterlife, what are y'all's thoughts? Are you planning on seeing it or
No, not really. I'm not that big fan of Ghostbusters. I think I've said it on here like on multiple occasions, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. Like
That's
it's a good movie. Don't get it wrong. Those movies are good movies. It's just not something I'm into watching very much. Like if I was bored and had nothing more better to do, it's like okay, let me go put a Ghostbuster movie on.
I feel like there's other movies I would put on before Ghostbusters if I'm bored out of my skull.
Yeah.
I need
I
like
haven't
a
seen
background
the
movie.
last,
It's not gonna be
like-
Ghostbusters because Ghostbusters. If I try to put it on as a background movie, maybe Ghostbusters 2 I would put on as a background movie. But like if it's genuinely Ghostbusters, I want to sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
I don't
I
want to
think-
work on watching it.
Yeah, I haven't seen like the last 3 or so Ghostbuster movies.
There's only
So-
been 3. After
No,
the
I mean
first-
like the
you're talking about 2016 and Afterlife because the third one comes out this weekend. So of course you haven't seen it.
obviously. But no, like where they tried to like recreate it, kind of thing, like bring it back into
Oh,
the
the
fold.
2016 one. You're not
Yeah.
missing much on that one.
I didn't see that one. I had no desire to see it.
You're not missing much.
I
I
didn't see
watched it
anything
out
for
of
that.
genuine curiosity. I'm like, is it really that bad? And I looked and I watched it. I was like, it's not that bad,
It's
but
not
it
good.
is messy. It is
It's-
very, very messy because they let them
What I-
ad lib so much of the script.
When I watched the 2016 one, because I remember watching it, it was like I didn't get the curiosity of it. It's like what? It's like I didn't even know they're making new Ghostbuster movies until like I saw it. It's like, oh yeah, this movie's not that good. I thought it would be better because it's Ghostbusters and funnier
Well, and here's the thing:
too.
is I genuinely
But
enjoy Melissa
no,
McCarthy and oh fuck, what's her name? It's not Kate McKinnon. It's ah.
before or after she lost the weight. Who are we talking about?
This is Melissa McCarthy. I don't mind Melissa McCarthy because that was actually before she lost the weight, and I feel like she was funnier before she lost the weight.
Well, a lot of people believe that she was funnier before she lost the weight. The point was the fact she lost the weight and lost a lot of jobs because of it.
Fair. No, I actually do genuinely enjoy Kristen Wiig because I feel like Kristen Wiig can be absolutely goddamn hilarious if she's given the right script. Bridesmaids is still funny to this day. I absolutely love Bridesmaids. It's
If I'm
really
right,
funny.
like some of those female actors are also comedians too. So it's
Well,
just
that's
like
the thing. Like the whole Ghostbusters lineup was comedians in 2016. Like
yeah.
Leslie Jones, she had some funny bits on SNL. Same thing with I believe it is Kate McKinnon actually. Okay. I believe it is. Yeah, it's Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon has some funny bits, but the problem is they kept pushing just her being ooh she's kooky and weird because she says things differently, and I'm like that's only funny for so long. Kind of the same
And
thing
then
with Leslie Jones. Leslie Jones was just loud, and she wasn't afraid to be loud. So like that's funny in the right circumstance, but like you can only do so much with it. You're kind of you keep pushing the same joke. It's not going to get funnier and funnier. You know
it's
that
gonna
kind
get
of thing,
less
right?
funnier until then it gets annoying. It's just like
You know,
okay,
and the
why
downside
did
is they let all four of those actresses, and I'm sure other people do. They let them like I guarantee you that script was maybe 5 pages long. The rest of it, and that's really only the actions that happen and like the loose story that goes on. The rest of it, I kid you not, I guarantee you about a good 30 to 40, maybe even 50% of that movie is ad libbed.
Yeah, more than likely. I don't. I think that's what threw me off was the storyline. The storyline for
The
2016 was
storyline
just
is
like,
way too inconsistent. Like it's
yeah, it was
consistent
just like
enough to
who's
be called a
everywhere.
movie. I don't know,
It's just
not
like,
really.
yeah.
You know.
To me it felt everywhere. It's just like, okay, we're just making random and weird jokes that like are funny to a certain point, but also not
And
funny.
then the occasional ghost action scene
Yeah,
with vague idea. Like I watched the extended cut too because that was the only version I could watch. And honestly, the extended cut does save some scenes from what I've been told on the theatrical end. Like it explains the villain's story a little bit, and there's a couple of extra jokes that are okay. I don't even remember what they are. But there's a couple of cut scenes that got added back in. But that's it's
and
really
then like
it.
the whole fucking himbo situation is just like,
Oh yeah, no, the shit
I get it. He
like
could have been a himbo. He could have been a himbo, but also
well,
somewhat a
Chris
little bit
Hemsworth
more fucking smart.
can be funny.
Yeah,
He literally can, but in moderation. And the whole thing I hate about that is, and this is where I'm gonna get slightly political on it because okay, granted, the fucking movie itself was meant to be a political statement. You can't tell me it wasn't.
Oh, the
was it
2016?
Yeah,
though?
the 2016 one was definitely meant to be a
2016 was
yeah, 100.
yeah, it
percent
was a fucking
Yeah, it's you
it was
know
more of a brownie point situation
oh
than the political.
100%. Yeah.
It's like, oh,
So
girl power. Oh, okay,
yeah, yeah. And here's
cool.
the thing: I don't mind girl power
All right.
movies. Alien is one of my favorite horror franchises. That's girl powered central. You know, like fucking. I'm trying to think of another one.
Resident Evil girl power central because the lead actress is a fucking female.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of a. not really the best example in the world. Those are fun movies, but like not the best example.
Yeah, then
Because
there's
the whole reason why Mila Jovovich kept being the badass that she was in those movies is because the director was married to her,
Oh
and he
yeah.
kept wanting to make it like power fantasy for his wife, so that kind of thing.
there's
Even
also
at that, I
the
think they
Underworld series.
the Underworld
Yeah,
series.
Underworld's a really good example. Well, the
I don't
first
know if
three.
you guys ever
Yeah.
seen.
Underworld's really good for the first
Yeah.
three. Everything else sucks.
I
But
thought, see, that's what I mean. They should have just left most movies at 3, and then just cut them off
there
from
are
there.
quite a few movies that, yes, I would agree with you. However, if they left every movie series at 3, we would not have gotten some of the best Mission Impossible movies we've gotten in the last few
Mhm.
years. Because let's be perfectly honest, 1, 2, and 3 of Mission Impossible are probably the weakest of the entire series. Like 3 is just boring, but at least it has Philip Seymour Hoffman. 2 is fucking nuts, and it's still boring. And the first one tries, but it's still a little boring.
Yeah.
Like the first
I
one
think-
has some iconic shit in it, but like aside from that,
I think
it's
I
not
think
the
I,
best. It
I
tries.
think a good girl power movie was V. I don't know if you guys ever saw that one. Violet.
Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet was a good.
Is that what you're talking about? The one with
yeah,
the really bad CGI?
yeah. It was like really terrible CGI, but also it was like
Wow.
kind of good. It was kind of like good action female
Yeah.
flick, I guess.
Anyways, so my point being, the thing I was trying to make, with Ghostbusters, the one thing I kind of didn't like is I understand having a male villain. I understand having some stupid males in the movie because there are douchebags and there are idiots. I understand that, right? Every single male character in that movie, even Bill Murray's cameo to a degree, is either lazy, incompetent, or an asshole.
But then again, Bill Murray is an asshole, though.
Well, Bill Murray is an asshole, and I get that that's part of his like his character is the cynic that doesn't believe in ghosts, and like Ernie Hudson barely had a 5-second cameo, so honestly he doesn't fit into that role. And honestly, if they did do that with Ernie Hudson, I would definitely hate that movie, regardless of how many props I give it.
I think
and then like
Arnie
Dan
Hudson would
Aykroyd
make that movie a little bit
an
better.
action driver that, okay, to be fair, he provides one of the better jokes and one of the worst jokes in the entire movie. He literally, so she says, "Hey, can you follow after that ghost?" Right? She says, "Hey, can you follow after that ghost?" And he goes, "Oh, that's just a class 4 full roaming vapor." And that's like genuinely funny because it's like, other than the fact that you know it's Dan Aykroyd, right? Like even if you know it's Dan Aykroyd, it's like, okay, so he's just supposed to be a taxi driver. How the fuck does a taxi driver know that? Like genuinely, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's genuinely funny. And then he gives the worst joke, which is, "Look, lady, I ain't going downtown. It's like, I ain't going downtown. I ain't doing this. And I ain't afraid of no ghosts." And I'm like, God fucking damn it, Dan Aykroyd. Fuck you. Fuck.
I
That
don't know.
was
To
the
me, that
worst
was one of the
that
funniest
literally
jokes.
made me groan in my living room. I was like,
Really?
oh, fuck.
Look,
I
to me,
hated
I
that
thought it
joke.
was a funny joke because one, it gives you more of the nostalgia of the original, where they go like,
It's
"Oh,
just
I'm
a
not afraid of no
lazy
ghosts."
ass callback. I
It
hated that
is. It is
joke.
a lazy callback, but it's also a funny lazy callback to me, though.
No, not
Of
really.
lazy
Honestly,
callbacks,
okay.
it's definitely one of the better ones that can be done.
It
Yeah,
is.
okay. Out of all the lazy callbacks, I will not disagree with you. It is one of the better ones, but it's still just like, you had a genuinely funny joke. You could have just left it at that. It's like, "Look, lady, I ain't going downtown. That's it. That's final." And he drives off. That would have been fine. I've been like, "Oh my god, it's actually a funny cameo." But no. Yes, leave the fucking groaner in there. And I'm like, God damn it. You Blues Brother 2000, you fucking asshole. And I call Dan Aykroyd a fucking asshole. I actually really like Dan Aykroyd. He's cool.
He's an asshole.
He's an asshole, but he's fucking
No,
awesome.
I kind of can't rip on Dan Aykroyd because he does. I guess now it'd be labeled as autism, but when he got diagnosed, he does have high functioning Asperger's.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Yeah,
he does.
absolutely, he
He
does.
is high functioning, but he does have it. Now they don't call it that anymore because they just, now it's just a level of autism.
Autism.
So
Yeah,
they don't call it
blanket
Asperger's. They
termed
just say autism. But you have it to this degree. It's what we used to call it was Asperger's, but we don't call it that anymore. So that's ultimately what
It's like called the smart man.
Rock's house is haunted because that bottle just fell out of nowhere. Anyways, so my point being, long ass tangent, fucking short. My point being, you're not missing much with Ghostbusters 2016. You're missing some really good stuff with Ghostbusters Afterlife because it is a really, really good tribute to Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
And the way that they handle his character and what they do with his character is done incredibly well. You won't believe me if you just like stop right when they first shit on his character, because they do continuously shit on the character a little bit. And then ultimately, if it wasn't for that, what they do at the end with it would have not amounted to anything. But because they kept doing it, and then when they show what they did, I genuinely teared up in theaters. Like, that movie actually genuinely got me to almost cry. It was that powerful. So I highly recommend Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah, there's some elements that don't work. That's fine. It's still genuine. I mean, like, to be fair, there's some elements of the original that don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're
like,
never gonna have a movie where all elements fit.
No,
together.
you're always gonna have one or two elements that do not work. I would say like the closest element to the closest movie I've seen that has like it's nearly flawless. I would argue Terminator 2 is nearly flawless. Aside from a few plot holes.
Yep.
Terminator 2 is nearly flawless.
No.
I would argue. Shut up, Gallows. Don't say lies. Terminator 2 is nearly flawless. I say nearly.
How?
Dude, it's one of like the quintessential action films, my guy. It's still okay. It takes place in the 90s, but it's still mostly timeless.
It's more the situation at 3 that Terminator 3 is a little bit more better than the 2 and 1.
You like Terminator 3 more than 2?
Yes.
Were you dropped? Don't get me wrong. I love the ending of Terminator 3. The ending is done so well, but the vast majority of that movie is bad. It's not the worst. It's not the worst out of the franchise. That would be Dark Fate, but that's a different story. No. Genesis is the worst.
Which one is
Genesis
the female
is the worst.
one? Genesis
Dark Fate was
is
okay.
the worst.
Genesis was the worst. I could not stand Genesis.
I couldn't stand the ending of Genesis.
Genesis was too confusing. It tried to do way too much and not enough at the same time.
Trying to remember what Genesis was. Was that the one?
That was the one with Jai Courtney and the Khaleesi, Mother of Dragons.
Yeah, and it was also about how the fact that Android.
Another Terminator got sent to protect Sarah Connor as a child, and that Sarah Connor grew up with that child, and John Connor somehow becomes the villain. He gets taken over by
that one.
Yeah, it was a weird one. It was a very weird Terminator movie. But anyways, so I would argue Terminator 2 is mostly flawless. I would argue, and I hate to stick on the James Cameron train, but he does have a lot of mostly flawless movies. I would argue Aliens is mostly flawless. I would argue Alien is mostly flawless. Mostly.
I don't know if you don't say the last one were good, because that was a terrible movie because of the
Alien
darkness.
Covenant? No, I didn't like Alien Covenant. Horrible. I enjoyed Prometheus. Prometheus had a lot of promise, and so did Alien Covenant. But I enjoyed Prometheus more than I enjoy Alien Covenant. But that's it. Another one. I'm trying to think.
Whenever I think, I would argue, it makes me think of the
Into the Spider-Verse is damn near flawless.
Yeah, it is really good.
That is one of the best Spider-Man movies, in my personal opinion. That is a damn near flawless movie.
Yeah, that was.
Hell, I would argue the Lego movie is damn near flawless.
The Lego movie sucks.
I love the Lego movie.
Awesome. I don't care anybody tells me. I don't give a shit what anybody tells me. It sucks. To me, it's one of the not good movies ever.
I would also argue. Now, this is kind of more of my frat boy humor. I would also argue 21 Jump Street with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill is damn near flawless. It's hilarious. I love that movie. The first Anchorman is damn near flawless. I'm trying to think of another Phil Lord and Chris Miller movie. I would argue Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is damn near flawless. That movie's really, really good. I really love that movie.
It's just that it sucks that they tore it down with the second one.
Yeah, but the Phil Lord and Chris Miller didn't return for the second one. That's why. Yeah, they didn't direct it.
Just jumping back to the Aliens movie.
Oh, Aliens? Okay.
Yes. Every time I think of Aliens, I think of the Predator movies. And the Predator movies,
I would argue the first one's mostly flawless. I would definitely argue with that. Yeah.
I have so many issues with all of how the Predator movies turn out. Like, they are this advanced race of superhuman, because their strength is significantly higher than ours. Their speed, their intelligence. They are
they're
built.
alien, so
They're
that's part of
built
it.
to be hunters.
Yeah, they're hunters. They're
They're
hunting.
a race that is built on hunting. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
But like in the most recent one,
Oh, the Predator sucked. I won't disagree with you there. The most recent one, fucking. Oh no, Prey. Prey was good.
Prey was
my only
good.
issue with it is a like 16, 17-year-old native girl
Yeah.
was able to go toe to toe.
Wait, hold on, though, because the fact that there's a difference between their how their tribe is run.
And also,
that
that's
would
an
be
earlier Predator too.
Yeah,
So
that's
maybe it's
like
less advanced. I mean, yeah, it's still
it
mastered
wasn't technology.
it's still mastered space travel.
Yeah.
But like, I would argue that also, it probably expended a lot of its energy going after those French. What were they, French or whatever the fuck they were? Yeah, they were French.
revolutionists,
It went after the
something like
French.
that.
So yeah, I imagine that the Predator was probably, and on top of that, she caught it off guard by lowering her body temperature and using bait. So like that's
using
honestly
its own weapon against it.
yes,
and that's
Something that it
so-
taught itself how. That's something that she taught herself how to do from looking at it once or twice.
I will argue, yeah, that is somewhat of a plot hole. But however,
That
she was
is-
also known to kind of figure out how things work pretty quickly throughout the movie.
what
So
saved
I
what
agree
saved her
with
ass
that.
is The Rock. I should stay killed in that part of the movie was The Rock.
There was a
like,
lot of things that saved her from
The
getting
Rock.
killed from that movie.
Yeah.
But
the plot armor on her was.
Yeah.
oh yeah, the plot armor was a little heavy. But
Like
I would
when
still argue
the
I still had a
bear
lot
is
of fun
there
with
and he
it,
just the Predator just picks up the bear and like breaks it in half.
True.
Like she's
However-
already weakened right there.
Okay, so another thing is the Predator, by going through the Frenchman and everything else like that, he could have also or I think it was a he. Anyways, it could have also
Yeah,
underestimated the girl,
Yeah.
and that's the number one thing that in every Predator movie, if they get beaten, they underestimate their prey.
Yeah.
That's why they always get beat. Is that the moment they underestimate essentially the protagonist. You can't tell me Arnold did not have fucking plot armor in the first one either.
100% he did.
No,
Yeah.
it's
It's Arnold.
blind.
Like,
So did
if you
yeah,
look-
but
if
even
you
then,
look at
Arnold
every
still
single
got
one
his
of them-
ass handed to him quite a few times.
If you look at every single Predator movie, the main protagonist
Has pretty
has
good plot armor.
severe plot armor.
The only one that
don't
had
disagree.
the only one that had severe plot armor, I would say, would be the one where they go into where Alien versus Predator first comes in. That one, the girl.
No,
Oh,
I wouldn't argue she has a shitload of plot armor.
Yeah.
Because she's one of the smarter characters, and she's also proven to be pretty resilient on top of that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Whereas
she
all these
also-
other
she
characters
also
are, quote,
befriends
unquote,
one of the
smart.
Predators.
But they're dumbasses. Let's be perfectly honest. All those characters, you don't even need to know their names because they're literally cannon fodder. I was
And-
literally like, okay, so I'm gonna, like, the first time I saw it, or like now what I do is, if I'm watching it with someone, I'd be like, okay, so how long do you think any of these people are gonna survive? And they're like, okay, well, I can tell you the one that's talking about his kids is gonna get somehow ironically killed because this is a movie about aliens and Predator. And I'm like, yep, you're not wrong on that one. And it's like the blonde chick that looks like Jane Lynch. She's gonna get killed somehow, but she's probably gonna fight a little bit. I think old Lance Henderson is probably gonna get killed in an ironic way. And I'm like, yeah, no. You have a lot of ideas. If you've seen any movie, you know how long these characters last. Maybe
I'd say the one that makes the most sense
yeah.
and has the least amount of plot armor is where it's just a Predator movie where they're all dropped in on that planet.
Kind of, but even then,
Well-
Adrian Brody, I did not believe him as a military badass.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
me
I
neither.
I never believed it when they started doing the callbacks with Arnold, or when he started doing the Arnold callbacks. I'm like, dude, I don't believe you. You're
Like
putting on an act.
he's
way
very
too thick.
much he wasn't the right pick for it.
No, I feel
But
like maybe
the
like
character
Matthew
itself-
McConaughey or like a A Matt Damon. That would have
Yeah.
worked. I feel like a
Or
Matt
Chris
Damon
Pratt,
or
or Chris
McConaughey.
Pratt before Marvel.
Pratt wasn't really he wasn't a big name at that point. He'd had like maybe
I
a
wouldn't even
small bit roles.
I wouldn't even say that he would fit it.
I feel
Really?
like now maybe he could pull it off.
Now he
but
would,
like,
definitely,
yeah, I don't
but
think back then he would have.
No,
He would have
but
had the chops to do
like
it.
my biggest thing with it is that the characters, like, they work together. They realize
Yeah.
we don't know where we are. We don't know what we're doing. We
Yeah.
need to work together to survive. And it's
And I
not
like
just
that they're
this
all
one character can do all of this. It's
Yeah.
this character does this character can do this character
the
does
number
this.
one character that pissed me off that they survived as long as they did. And I feel bad for this guy because he's actually not a bad actor. Topher Grace's character pissed me the fuck off that he lived as long as he did. I'm like,
Which
fuck
one is that
you.
one? Is
He
that
was the one that was
the
like the secret serial killer. He put
Oh.
the paralyzing shit on his pocket knife and stabbed her in the back.
Oh, because he
I was
plays
like, you
he plays
fucking
those
asshole. I
he
hate
plays
you.
those characters though.
Yeah, but
He has
he's like
played
one
a
of the
lot of these
last three that
characters.
survives.
Well, because he
gets half of
outsmarted.
them killed.
Yeah, because he did what most serial killers would do.
Yeah, but like I'm
Yeah.
also of the thought process of like one of these characters should have at least sniffed him out at some point.
Because of the whole thing with because most people like in real life they can smell the blood on somebody, even though it's not.
Yeah, that was the most unrealistic thing. Anyways, so I don't know why the fuck we got on the horror films. Anyways,
Oh my god.
what?
That movie came out in 2010.
Fuck! That movie's 14 years old?
Yes.
God
Damn.
damn it! You're
I think
making
hold on.
yourself
So,
feel worse and you're making us feel worse. Stop it.
the last
some
one,
help.
my last comment on this, I think the second Predator movie, The Cop,
You like that one better?
I think it was okay. I think it was one of the better ones, honestly. It wasn't good. I think it was one of the
I
better
will
ones.
say
though.
it's in my top 3. Argue my top 4 because I feel like Prey and the original Predator are pretty on par with each other. They kind of fluctuate a little bit, but I put them both in the number 1 spot.
So they're coming
No,
out
I
with
think
another
Arnie,
movie.
I say
They're coming out with
Predator
another one, I know.
with Arnie,
Badlands.
Prey.
And it's going to go in theaters,
The
which is
second
awesome.
one,
Yeah.
the second movie, the Alien versus Predator, the one where the 2000 to 2010 Predator movie, and the
Predators.
last but not least, the
Yeah.
horrible
Predator.
one.
Yeah.
The Predator goes on the way
So-
bottom.
Again, Prey and original Predator are about on par with each other. Then I have Predators because I do genuinely enjoy Predators. I enjoy it for the ensemble. I love me some Danny Glover. I had to watch Predator 2 a couple of times before I got into it because I used to hate it. I thought it was my least favorite for the longest fucking time. Then I really did gain an appreciation for it. Granted, I watched it at the worst time. I was tired as shit. I was like, I just watched the first one and it was getting to about 10 o'clock ish at night. And that's usually about the time I'm getting ready for bed. So I kind of fell asleep in it. So that's part of it. But I did watch it again and I did gain appreciation for it. There is a lot to love in Predator 2. So Predator 2 is right below Predators and then The Predator. And that's it.
So I just want to point out before
Yeah.
we jump over to the next topic, because
What's up?
the director for Predators,
Mhm.
his name is Nimrod.
That's a lot.
I like
Nimrod
that.
Antal.
Yeah,
I just thought that was funny.
that is funny. Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of TGC with me, BUBOLO. And today I'd like to just speak about the current state of Helldivers 2 and its community. More specifically, the toxic side of its community. Now, there's been a lot of videos made about this toxicity, more so with a post made on the Steam community page saying that plus 8 missions or 8+ missions, which are basically a high difficulty mission, there needs to be set some standards. And they're basically saying that if they don't have a certain stratagem, they're kicked. If they're not at a certain level, they're kicked. If they have a certain weapon that they don't like, they're kicked. Stuff like that. And it really sets a bad precedent on the whole community as a whole, especially for new players who just want to go in and enjoy the game and grind it out with people, especially if they don't have really anybody to play with. And I kind of feel bad for the new players that have to experience getting kicked out of probably multiple lobbies if they're that unlucky. Unfortunately for me, I've also experienced this sort of thing where I randomly joined somebody's mission and then they ended up kicking me because I was only a level 12 and they were a level 20. So, but some of us, we don't play the game like hardcore like everyone else. But if you are a high level player and a low level player joins you, just play with them. Just show them the ropes. Tell them what stratagems are good, what stratagems are bad, what weapons to use. Teach them the meta. Who knows? But the toxicity doesn't even stop there. Sometimes I've seen videos of people during extraction, they just go ahead and kill everybody, take their samples and stuff, and then kick them out the match. And then extract themselves. And it's blatant bad sportsmanship, basically. This makes people just not want to play the game, because then not only did you cost them XP and items, but you'll also probably ruin their experience for the day. I don't understand the toxicity. I really don't. It's a team-based game. Play as a team, or don't play with a team at all. If you're going to be toxic and you are, then I would suggest just playing a solo mission or just soloing it since you're so good. But Helldivers 2 was made to have fun and, goof around and take it serious at the same time, no matter the level. You can teach and you can have fun at the same time. But I will pass it along to the people over at Snodacast again, and I would just like to say, stop being toxic and just enjoy the game that you're playing.
Thank you, Ty, for that for that segment. And I've been playing the hell out of Helldivers with you. So it's sad to see that there's a toxic community in every fucking game that we have, but I'm glad that the developers are not standing up for a lot of things that they're like, no, we're not doing that, or no, we're not going to take that as we're not going to deal. We're not going to let that be. So I do love that there is that element to it. You guys?
From what I've heard with the toxicity of Helldivers, it's
really just team killing.
It is.
Yeah, it's
And
team killing.
the one thing that I
kicking them
really
out
like,
because you don't want them at a low level, that kind of shit.
the one thing that I really like though is because I spent a lot of time on Reddit, is the wanted list.
Yeah.
Like they will post out a name, like an in-game name, a little bit of a screenshot or a video of them committing treason against democracy, and it'll say, if you encounter this Helldiver,
kill on sight.
Yeah, kill on sight, take them out immediately. And I just find that hilarious.
Oh, that is funny. Yeah,
It's because supposedly Helldivers gotten to the point where it's starting to get boring. Like, I get it. You're only going to a certain amount of worlds, and there's not that many worlds.
They're making more. They're actually hinting towards another enemy too.
Yeah,
there's more enemy types that are coming.
But we got to play
robot charges.
Oh, dude, I got to get your Steam. And then Gallows doesn't have a PlayStation 5, but we're working on that part. But yeah, no, it's sad to see toxic Helldivers or toxicity in Helldivers. But I mean,
well, then again, it's a game. It's a game. There's always going to be toxicity.
Also, it's the internet. There's always going to be toxic people, no matter what you're going into.
Correct.
So, I guarantee you, there's toxic people in pottery. How the fuck that's possible, I don't know, but I guarantee you.
No, because there's always that one douchebag who's like, "Oh, my pottery is the best." It's like
I think it's human nature that in any type of group setting, there's always going to be some form of toxicity. Tis the problem, and I'll work on that here in a bit. So on to our main topics. So we got 4 trailers for you, one of which came out today as of recording. We got Furiosa trailer 2, which actually gives us more of a story, which that's the reason why we're talking about it. And then we also have Alien Romulus, which fucking finally they give us a goddamn trailer, and this shit looks good. Which, to be fair, Furiosa looks fine too. Beetlejuice. I've actually changed my mind since I've heard a few things about this movie on how I feel about it. And if you want, I will. I am gonna give you my original thoughts on now what I think about it, especially after seeing that teaser. And of course, the Acolyte, which I have plenty of thoughts about, but granted, it's Disney Star Wars. It seems to always light a fire under my ass lately, but we'll get into that later.
Well, the fact that Disney, what Disney did with Star Wars, that's the reason why
I know the reason why. Trust me, Gallows. I know my reason why I don't like Disney Star Wars.
We all know why you don't like Disney Star Wars. You like to go on a rant about it.
They ruined a few things for me, so fuck off. Anyways, So
Yeah, I just watched
First
the teaser
trailer.
for Romulus.
yeah, so the first trailer, Furiosa. I love Mad Max Fury Road. I'm sad that we're not getting another continuation of that because I actually really like Tom Hardy as Mad Max. I'm glad we're getting back into this world though, because it seems like we always go like 10 years without a George Miller movie. Have you ever noticed that?
Because George
Like he
Miller
always
probably
takes like
wasn't
10
one
years
of
to
the
make
best.
these damn things. Because like the last Mad Max movie came out when I was like maybe a freshman in high school.
Really?
Yeah. Mad Max
Weren't you
Fury Road came out when I was like a freshman in high school, man. Like
Weren't
it
you
came out
24?
2015, 2016. Maybe 2014?
Fury Road came out 2015.
2015?
Oh,
Yeah, there you
yeah. I
go.
was
Yeah,
like
because it came out the same year as
a
Kingsman.
senior, a sophomore in high school when that movie came
Yeah,
out.
I was a freshman when that movie came out. So, you know, and I love that movie. That movie is fantastic. It's just the right amount of weird, and it's also visually gorgeous. I've been meaning to watch the black and chrome edition because I heard that they do a lot of stuff with like. That's what I love about certain movies. They do a lot with like the black and white version. That it actually you can see subtle details that you can see in color, but like it's interesting to see that how they get it done in black and white. Like Logan has a really good black and white cut. I know Godzilla -1 has Godzilla -1 minus color, which is done really, really well. So, and I love that that's kind of getting a lot of love. So the fact that George Miller kind of quote unquote started it, I love that. Well, not started it, but like he did it, you know?
So I feel like George Miller just wanted to go back to the roots of making movies, and that was more of the black
Yeah,
and white.
kinda. I mean, to be fair, Mad Max Fury Road was like the first movie since what was it, the 90s? I want to say the early 90s was the last Mad Max movie we got. Beyond Thunderdome, I think came out in I want to say it came out in like 92, 93.
Thunderdome came out in 85.
Oh shit, seriously?
Yep.
Oh,
Mad
damn.
Max, the first one came out in 79.
Oh,
Mad
right.
Max 2, 81. Thunderdome,
81.
85.
Thunderdome was 85. Okay, yeah, and then we didn't get another Mad Max movie until 2015.
So 30 years later.
Yeah, 30 years later, we got a Mad Max movie, which I'm also kind of glad because it was 30 years later that we didn't get Mel Gibson back as Mad Max. That was nice. I like that.
You know that
just
George Miller
yeah.
directed, wrote, and produced Happy Feet?
Yes, I did know that.
Yeah.
I
That
didn't
is
know
one
that.
of the weirdest things about his entire career. But then
And,
again, you go back and watch it, and it's like, no, I see the George Miller influence
Then
in
he
this.
did the Babe, Pig in the City movies.
Fuck, did he?
Yep.
Oh, that was George Miller. Yeah, no, that yeah, I love those movies. Those are good childhood movies. So, especially
I
the first
hated
one.
I hated Happy Feet 1 and 2. I just thought it was not. It was.
I didn't ever see the second Happy Feet. I
didn't see the
wanted to
second
as a
one.
kid because
It was
I
worse
love the
than
first one. But like,
I felt
What?
like it was worse than the first one. Not the call.
oh yeah, well no, the
Mad
first
Max
one was
Fury
pretty good. I
Road
liked it.
had 10 Academy Award nominations and won 6.
A Happy
Oh,
Feet did
nice.
or Mad Max?
Mad Max.
That doesn't surprise me. I imagine a lot of it was for visual and sound design. Best
Probably.
editing, best sound design, best visual effects, and maybe
Received nominations for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Cinematography, and Best Visual Effects.
it won.
And it won Best Film Editing, Production Design, Costume Design, Makeup and Hairstyling, Sound Mixing, and Sound Editing.
Okay, so I figured it would get sound editing and sound mixing for sure.
Yeah.
And you said it won best editing?
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Best Film Editing.
Yeah, because that film actually does have really clever edits. Like if you watch it frame by frame, there actually is stuff that you do miss, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a really good point and pause movie. Because there is really cool details that you don't pick up on, which is why I watched the breakdowns of it. So it's a lot of fun. Anyways, so with that being said, Furiosa. God, Chris Hemsworth looks weird with that big ass nose, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He does, doesn't he? But and it's also weird hearing him like do a very nasally, which I guess it makes sense because he has a big ass nose. Very nasally Australian accent, like he's almost like pitching up it a little bit, and it's like,
I also thought he
"Ladies and
would.
gentlemen, start your engines." You know, I'm like, "Oh, okay, so we're going that level. Okay, cool." I feel
I
like
also
he's
thought he was
having a
taking a break
blast in
from
this movie.
movies after he found out he has dementia or something like that. Is it dementia?
Yeah, well, no, they've been working on this movie since Furiosa, it's been in production, I want to say, since I think they started before COVID.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's just been editing and going under post-production since then. Because then you had COVID, which probably shut down production. And then they probably picked it back up maybe about 2023. And then I'm sure that with the actor strike, they had to stop editing or doing anything and then going from there.
In 2019, Miller told IndieWire that the 3 films are being considered, 2 Mad Max stories and a Furiosa story.
So they got the Furiosa story done first.
Yeah.
Now, I know
So
a lot
there's
of
gonna
people
be
are
another Mad
worried
Max.
about this because it is like out of the 3 Mad Max ideas, this is a Mad Max spinoff movie and it's a prequel for Furiosa. But to be fair, you also got to remember, you remember how popular Furiosa was? Like, she was one of the more popular, newer characters from Mad Max. And I
Yeah.
love
Yeah,
that
because she's a
almost
really great
every
character.
Mad Max movie is never really about Mad Max.
Mad Max.
He's kind of just taken along for the ride. The only one where well, okay, except for the first one. First one is really about him. But he does practically nothing in that movie, and he's not really that mad in the movie. And on top of that, it's also not really that post-apocalyptic. They didn't really get like the true style of Mad Max until you got to Road Warrior. And technically, Fury Road is more of a remake of Road Warrior, and it's a faster version of Road Warrior. So, like, unless you're just a diehard completionist, there's really no point to watching Road Warrior unless you just want to watch the older and, I hate to say it, slower version of Mad Max Fury Road, because that's essentially what Road Warrior is. Whereas Thunderdome, he actually has a little bit more control of his character in that, but he basically goes up to Tina Turner and begs for a job. And she's like, okay, be a gladiator in my Thunderdome arena. And there you go. So that's kind of Thunderdome from what I've been told. Anyways, a lot of people, there are some people that like, I actually like Thunderdome the best. I've yet to see it. I've only seen Mad Max Fury Road. But I will go check this out. I think that it looks like a lot of fun. I'm excited to get back into this world. So yeah, fuck it. I don't mind a Furiosa backstory, and I like Anya Taylor-Joy. So cool. Plus, it would be cool to see the green place without it being a giant swamp with those weird stick figure guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was like super curious. In Fury Road, I was like super curious about that place and
what the
old
fuck was
lady.
going on? Yeah, like
Yeah,
what the
I was
hell
like,
happened?
what happened here? That
Yeah.
they had stick figures that were just creeping the fuck out.
Yeah, the guys on the stilts, just going all around on all fours on stilts.
Also,
with
just talking about when it started production, everything.
Yeah.
October 2020. Jesus Christ.
October 2020.
A prequel to Fury Road titled Furiosa Mad Max Saga entered advanced development at Warner Bros.
That's fair. They were mostly shooting in a desert, so I don't entirely blame them, because I think the 2015 one, they started it in like, I want to say 2011, because it was like a year-long production, because there was points where they had to stop production because of dust storm and sandstorm and everything. So like, because he prefers to shoot out in the desert. Like, he prefers practical sets over man-made sets. He prefers practical locations over man-made sets. So
I feel like more movies should work on practical sets instead of man-made sets. I feel like it gives more of a
green screen. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. And we'll get into a movie that actually is going to be doing that later. So that being said,
side topic.
Go ahead.
Charlize Theron, how old do you think she is?
Wild random shot in the dark. I'm going to say about 47 to 50.
She's 48.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like she was like
close.
45 to like late.
I was like, no, 47, because I remember they made it kind of a semi big deal, because when she was 45, they were like, oh yeah, she's still a badass action star. I'm like,
wait, she's 45?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay. I mean, to be fair, for 48, she looks great. She really does. She actually, I would still argue that she could pull off like maybe a late 30s person. I feel like she could pull that off.
I generally think that she could probably pull off late 20s, early 30s.
late
That's
20s maybe with
funny.
the right makeup, but I could definitely see mid to late 30s. She could definitely pull off 10 to 15 years younger than what she actually is.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, but as far as like 20 years or not 20, yeah, like almost 20 to 30 years or younger. No.
She's like half
No.
the age.
Yeah.
Well, I
no.
mean, this is her 6 years ago, which was 2018.
To be fair, that's a shitload of makeup too. So,
Yeah,
Mhm.
but at the
anyway,
same time,
yeah, no, at the same time, absolutely. But no. So, super excited about Furiosa. I think it's going to be an interesting movie for sure. I trust George Miller, so don't fuck it up. That's all I say.
I think it's an interesting idea. Honestly, I would
Yeah.
like to go watch it in theaters because I mean it looks fun to watch.
Yeah, and Miller is pretty adamant about like, no, my films go into theaters and then they go onto streaming after that. He's been pretty adamant about that. So, all right. Well, going from that to a trailer that I have been dying to fucking see, and I'm glad I finally saw the teaser. Alien Romulus. Fed Alvarez, if I ever meet you in person, I'm kissing you on the lips. I'm sorry, it's gonna fucking happen. You did a really good Evil Dead remake. Don't Breathe was fine up until the Baster scene, and for anybody that's seen the movie, they know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. And to be perfectly honest, after that whole scene, it's actually still pretty good. Highly recommend Don't Breathe if you haven't seen it. Just when you see a Baster, you may want to skip. That's all I'm gonna say. Sue. And then, of course, you also have the fact that he has said he's not afraid to use CG, but he tried to use as much practical effects as he felt was necessary. And he did the same thing with Evil Dead 2013. And a lot of those practical effects look phenomenal. Some of the CG doesn't hold up, but that's a different story. So, I love Fed Alvarez. I was very excited when I heard that he was announced to direct this Alien movie, especially for it being the first movie from being technically Disney produced from 20th Century Studios. So I love that idea that, they're like, no, we're going to make this an outright horror movie. It's going to be rated R. And I'm glad that they changed their mind from making it go directly to Hulu. Now it is going directly to theaters, and it may do Hulu like a little bit after. So I'm very excited about that. They did learn their lesson from Prey, because Prey had such an outcry of why was this not in theaters,
Mhm.
and I don't disagree. I'm glad that they learned their lesson from that. So
yeah, it's
super
good to
pumped to
see
see this in
when
theaters, and it's a really small teaser too. Like you get really no idea of what's going on. You really only see like 2 seconds of the alien,
yeah,
and it's right before the title card drops. So I love that, and like this looks genuinely scary. It looks close quarters. It reminds me a lot of the first Alien movie
Yeah,
with a
I
little bit of
was gonna say
aliens
that.
because of the action part of it. So I'm very excited about that. And they did say that this is taking place between Alien and Aliens. So there are going to be references, but nothing outright, crazy. They didn't say,
yeah,
they said just because it's set in between doesn't mean that we're going to get characters from other movies. Like, because you got to remember, there's like a 50 to 60 year time gap between Alien and Aliens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the way
So,
that just the teaser trailer
oh my
rolled out,
God, just as a
Oh
teaser
man,
trailer.
the trailer was
it
fucking
really
huge.
made me feel like made me think of the Alien Isolation game.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he did say that that was one of his bigger inspirations aside from the
Where
movies. He did say a lot of the games were a lot
it's
of inspiration, and that
very
was one of
much
them.
as a human, you can do nothing
Yeah. And I love that. That's
except
what I love
for
about the
run
first Alien
and
movie.
try to hide.
Yeah. I love Aliens because it's a lot faster paced, there's a lot more explosive action, but there is really good character development in it as well. So I do prefer Aliens over Alien, but I still love Alien. Alien, while it may be a slow burn, is once you get to the chestburster scene, there's a couple of slow moments, but it does not let you go. You feel
No.
the tension in every fucking scene after that. So like if you want to talk about a good example of tension, Alien is the way to go. Alien is one of the best examples of really good tension. I would argue like you're watching somebody slowly turn a guitar string and slowly tighten it to the point of it just snaps and all hell breaks loose. And that's what I would argue that Alien is. Aliens is definitely more of a gung ho action film, but it's not just your dumb stupid. It's not Transformers. I'm sorry. It's not a Bruckheimer film. I'm sorry, but it is a
that
lot of
Michael
fun.
Bay film?
Well, that's why I brought up Transformers. But it's not The Rock. It's not, it's not your dumb action film. Let me put it that way.
I understand like
Yeah.
that. Like I'm a
Which, to
big
be fair,
fan of
The Rock's not a
Transformers.
dumb action film in my personal opinion. Con
Like,
Air is a dumb action film, but The Rock is not.
I'm a big fan of the Transformers.
I
But that's
like
because
the
it's sort
first
of a
three.
nostalgia thing.
I like the first
movies
three, and
that-
I like the first three, and I like Bumblebee. I have yet to see Rise of the Beast.
Rise of the Beast, it wasn't terrible.
I heard that. I heard it was decent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely one
Yeah.
that you wouldn't pay to go see in theaters.
Yeah.
But-
It's on Amazon Prime. I think I'll watch it at some point.
Yeah, that's where it is.
That's
That's
how I
where
watched
watched
Bumblebee.
it. I haven't watched Bumblebee yet.
Oh, Bumblebee's really good. I actually recommend Bumblebee. It's
I
pretty
only saw up to the Transformers Night Fallen or something like that.
That was the last one.
Yeah, I've only
that was
seen
the
up to
last
that.
directed one.
I've seen all. I saw all of them. It's just like the first three were good. The last few were just like, okay, that's a lot of explosive. We get it. You're a big old pyro fan, bro.
I would argue the first three are dumb fun. The fourth one's just dumb, but I do have fun with it. And the fifth one is absolutely beyond fucking stupid. That's the best way to explain the transfer. And then Bumblebee's good, and then I can't give you an idea of that. But anyways, we're going on a weird tangent. So I do love
side
this Alien
tangents
Romulus
today.
trailer. It is a really effective teaser. I cannot wait till we get a full trailer. And now, granted, take it with a grain of salt. Both James Cameron and Ridley Scott have seen this movie, and they both praised it. Now, I'm more willing to trust Ridley Scott because he's usually more likely to tell you, no, this film's fucking shit. Whereas James Cameron has loved every freaking he's loved every Terminator movie since his own. Like, since the first two, he's loved every single one. He's like, oh yeah, it's the greatest thing. Don't worry about it. Go see it. It's like, it's a lot of fun. Love it. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Oh, were you busy working on Avatar? Is that what it was? Because I understand. It's like, so what did you think of that movie? Yeah, fine. Loved it. Go see it. And fucked off. He's like, I gotta go work on Blue Monkeys. Give me a moment. Just
Let me spend 20 years working on this movie to spend another 12 to work on the next.
Yeah. That's what I that's what I love and hate about James Cameron, because he's dedicated. But honestly, to the worst fucking degree. He's way too dedicated to
At least
one
he's not,
project. Yeah, because like he'll pick up shit and then he's
Kubrick,
like,
I think it is.
I'll produce it. You director over there, Alita Battle Angel, because he was originally supposed to direct that, right? Since the 90s, by the way. And then he's like, so somebody asked him, hey, are you still ever gonna make that? He's like, oh, no. But my buddy Robert Rodriguez would like to direct it, and I can produce it. So yeah, that's ultimately how James Cameron works. It's like, is it Avatar movie? No, then no, I'm not working on it. Sorry.
At least it wasn't like Kubrick, where it's
Kubrick?
He went back and forth between Spielberg. Like, he wanted Spielberg to direct it and him to produce it, and then Spielberg was supposed to direct AI, or then Spielberg said, no, I'm going to produce AI and you direct it, so on and so forth. They went back and forth. Then they finally said, fuck it, my next film's AI, after Eyes Wide Shut, and then died.
But no, not even that. It's just more so we didn't get this scene done perfectly.
Oh yeah, no, Kubrick was an absolute perfectionist.
We are going to run it 700 times until
127 times for that stair fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do not condone the actions that Kubrick took towards Shelley Duvall during The Shining, but it got a good performance. So I mean, like, I can congratulate it for that, but I don't condone it.
I don't even know what had happened with all of that.
He tormented the fuck out of that poor woman.
Oh,
like, you
yeah.
remember how wiry she was in The Shining? Because behind the scenes and off camera, Kubrick was abusing the shit out, like, to the degree that he could get away with. He was like verbally abusing her consistently, scaring the shit out of her. Like, she started losing hair on set.
Wow.
She was graying out on set. Like, she actually said after the movie she had a few gray hairs after that. He stressed her out that bad.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't condone it. But I got a good performance, so I can congratulate it for that, but I don't condone it. There's a difference. So, going from that trailer to, well, the trailer that came out today, Beetlejuice. So, here was my original thought whenever it came to Beetlejuice 2. I said, why the fuck are you doing it? Tim Burton didn't want to do it when the first movie was a bit of success. Why the fuck are you doing it now? He literally made a joke script where the world ended while Beetlejuice was on vacation in Hawaii. He was surfing a tidal wave and the whole world ended. And that's how the script ended. The end. Duh. So I'm like, why the fuck are you doing it now? I have changed my mind just ever so slightly because I have heard one thing and one thing only. Tim Burton has said that him and Michael Keaton both agreed, or it was him and somebody else. I want to say it was Michael Keaton because I think Michael Keaton is producing this. They both agreed we want to do this with little to absolutely no CGI. We want to do everything practical, whether that comes down to stop motion, whether that comes down to puppets, whether that comes down to props on an actor, whether it comes down to strings being pulled and, you know, rotoscoping. He's like, I want to do it as practical as fucking possible. And to that, I say fucking bring it on, Tim, because I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be good. Just, and from that teaser alone, the only line that is spoken, aside from a song being sung by a group of choir kids, is Beetlejuice comes up out of the model and he literally
It's
says,
showtime?
"The juice is loose."
Oh,
And that's it. And it ends.
Cool.
And that's it. And I love that this, I am
yeah, I'm
concerned.
watching the trailer right now.
Yeah, I am concerned about it because it is called Beetlejuice, and I'm like, are you leading into a third film? Is that what you're doing? I swear to fucking God, Tim, stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Go get a Big Mac. We'll be fine.
Go talk to Johnny, Tim.
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah,
would just tell you to chill out for like a minute, bro.
yeah. Johnny would probably give you some good pot that you could probably use and come up with another creative idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, come
Like,
on.
I'm excited. I'm excited for Beetlejuice too. Honestly,
Yeah.
I am.
I mean, I love
Cause
that first movie. They don't make them like that anymore. And plus, that
they
was the
don't.
80s PG. That movie had some fucking balls, man. That movie had balls.
For
Fucking love that first movie,
Beetlejuice?
man.
Yes.
Yeah. That first movie was rated PG and it came out in 81?
8.
88? Was that 88?
Yeah.
For the first
Oh, yeah,
Beetlejuice.
yeah, because the next year Tim Burton did Batman and he got Michael Keaton, and Batman, the first Batman movie came out in 89. Well,
Yep.
the first movie to be called Batman. Not Batman, the movie, you know. Love you, Adam West. Rest in peace. But still. So, and I will say this, Michael Keaton looks perfect as Beetlejuice. Like, he still looks really, really good. The wrinkles in his face kind of adds a little bit more to the character. So I'm like, okay, I am interested in this.
I definitely think that they should have had it so that, because I just finished watching the trailer.
Yeah.
Instead of him saying the juice is loose, just it's showtime.
Showtime. Yeah. But I feel like that would have been just too nostalgia baity. So that's fair. I agree. I congratulate them for coming up for with a different line, just the juice is loose, which I think that was in the first movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it? I haven't seen the
I
first
think
one.
so.
In
I think it's
long
a
time.
it's a lesser known
think
line.
I don't think it was.
No, I want to say it was in the original. I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch it, which I'm always down to rewatch Beetlejuice. Come on. My next question though is, are they going to bring back Gina Davis and it's not John Travolta. Who's the other one?
The mom and the dad?
Alec Baldwin. Yeah, are they going to bring back Alec Baldwin, and are they going to bring back Gina Davis? And if so, how? Because that would be the whole movie with them having to be de-aged, which you can do. They did it semi-successfully with Samuel L. Jackson and Captain Marvel until he had to do action scenes, and then it's like, wow, this spry 20-year-old sure does move like a 70-year-old man. But I digress. The official plot for Beetlejuice is a death in the family has caused what was Winona Ryder's character's name?
I don't remember.
Lydia Dietz.
Lydia. Yeah, so Lydia Dietz, and I feel like Mr. Dietz is dead because you only see the mom at the funeral. I feel like it's probably Mr. Dietz that has died, which would be interesting. I'd actually like to see, because I think that actor who played Mr. Dietz is still alive. I want to say he is. Is he?
Charles Dietz, Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah, Charles Dietz. I want to say that actor is still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah, Jeffrey Jones.
Yep, he's 77.
Yeah, no, he's still kicking. He's 77. Jesus Christ. I think Glenn Shaddix is still alive too. No, Glenn Shaddix died in 2010.
Yep.
Damn.
September 7th.
That fucking sucks. Damn, because he was actually kind of funny. I liked him. But yeah, I feel like because they can bring back Mr. Dietz, they're probably gonna have him as a ghost. But yeah, a death in the family has caused Lydia to come back. And I think the only one that could do that is the dad. So I feel, and especially because we don't see him in the trailer in the funeral lineup, I'm willing to bet he's dead. He's the one that's died. So yeah, no, I think that'll be interesting. And then of course, in some way, shape, or form, by uncovering the model, Beetlejuice is somehow back. I don't know. This is a teaser. It's supposed to just get us excited for the movie and give us an idea of what the movie's going to look like, not necessarily give us the plot.
Yeah, like this one here, it says Beetlejuice is back. After unexpected family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River. Yeah. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down when her rebellious teenage daughter, Astrid, who's also played by Jenna Ortega, discovers the mysterious model of the town in the attic, and the portal to the afterlife is accidentally opened. With trouble brewing in both realms, it's only a matter of time until someone says Beetlejuice's name 3 times, and the mischievous demon returns to unleash his very own brand of mayhem.
At least they're still keeping him the villain. That's awesome. I love that.
I don't think there's any way not to.
Well, the cartoon did it okay enough, I guess. But the cartoon's not canon, so there we go. Yes, for those of you that are my age that don't know, they don't really dive into this shit. Yes, there was a cartoon. And yes, he was friends with Lydia in the cartoon, even though in the movie he tried to marry her while she was like 13. So yeah, let's just say the 90s and the 80s had a shitload of coke going around, and we're just gonna leave it at that.
Coke.
Hell, even Stephen King said he was high off his ass during the 80s on coke. Yeah. Why do you think we got Maximum Overdrive? I guarantee you he was on coke during that movie.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. But so again, I love this teaser. It is a really good teaser. I feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out to do the Deo at the funeral. I don't think that's what they're actually singing. I think that's probably just done for the trailer. Because, again, that's one of the more popular songs from the movie, you know. And I do love that they didn't use, like, popular, like, at the time, 80s songs. I do love that they kind of go for more, like, a 40s and a 50s kind of vibe in the songs. And I do love that. And they're more, like, the unknowns, you know, like the Deo, the, but in the line. Okay, I believe you. Whatever that one was. Shake Sonora. Yeah, you know, like that stuff, right? Like I do love that. I hope to God Danny Elfman is back for the movie. I believe he is.
Danny Elfman?
Danny Elfman, yeah. I hope he's doing the music for this movie because I feel like he's stuck with Tim for a while.
I saw something about that. Yeah, give me a second.
Did he say he's not coming back? That's going to be a shame, man, because Danny Elfman has such a fantastic score in that movie. It's going to feel naked without him. Yeah.
More
collaborators, editor.
You could have just looked up as Danny Elfman coming back for Beetlejuice too.
I have information right here in front of me. Yep. Oscar-nominated composer Danny Elfman. He will be there. So,
I don't know if I believe your Canadian news sources.
I'm on YouTube.
Yes. Okay. He has. Yeah.
Oh, look at that! I was right.
Yeah. Fuck you. Anyways, I just wanted to throw that Canadian insult out there because every time you're on, I got to throw at least 3.
Oscar-winning hair and makeup designer Christine Blundell.
I believe that's his wife.
I have no idea.
Or she's the one that originally worked on the movie. Okay. On to one that I definitely have thoughts about. Then the sad part is it's actually a really good trailer. It's just I've been fooled way too many times before, and I'm jaded. It's the same reason I didn't watch Andor, but I heard Andor was pretty good, and I still haven't watched it. But I do kind of want to watch it now because I heard it's pretty good. Anyway, The Acolyte also came out this week. The trailer did.
I think the Acolyte was pretty interesting.
I
It's
like
just
the
such,
cast.
it has to be another Disney series.
Yeah, that's
So-
my problem. Is it looks interesting, but I have another problem with it as well. You know who the showrunner for this is?
Cool.
Harvey Weinstein's last personal assistant, who is
Oh,
also not only nothing against her gender identity, whatever she believes she is. She says she's queer, whatever, fine, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. But here's my problem. You know what she has said anytime she's been asked anything about Harvey Weinstein? Oh, he was the nicest guy. I had nothing wrong with him. I'm like, you don't even work for the guy anymore. Why the fuck are you defending his ass? We all know what he fucking did. But no, she's the number one. Like, she's like, no, I never saw anything when I was a personal assistant of Harvey Weinstein for 4 years before he got convicted.
I will say that it does look really good.
It looks good. That's why I said it's a good trailer.
It's a really great
I
trailer.
have my
honestly.
fucking problems, and I've been burned way too many times before. I've heard the press news. I've seen some of the press circuits for this, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I've been suckered in by good trailers before from Disney Star Wars. They got me with fucking Obi-Wan. They got me with Boba Fett. How the fuck they got me with Boba Fett? I'll never fucking know. But like, in hindsight, oh my god, Boba Fett, Jesus Christ, fuck that show. Anyways,
Tell me how you really feel.
oh dude, I can say words. I actually almost went on a full-on rant. I went on a rant. I didn't go on a full-on rant before you say anything, Gallows.
He went on a full-on rant about how he doesn't like the Star Wars universe and Disney because of the fact that how messed up they make half of the series, even though there's
Not
only
even
a
half,
few
dude.
good-
Like the vast majority of their series are pretty
yeah,
decent.
the vast majority of the series sucks. Even Obi-Wan, he was pissed off about Obi-Wan.
I was so pissed about Obi-Wan because, like, I'm like, you have so much fucking potential, and you ruined it. You assholes!
I think I
Fuck
heard. I
you.
think there's rumors
It's not
of
an
this
Obi-Wan
one.
show. It's a young Leia show. You can kiss my dick if you think otherwise. And you
I
know
think
what? I'll tell you another
Uh-huh.
thing. It's this character that nobody knows that we created called Reva. She's an Inquisitor, but she's also a good guy. But she's mainly
Yeah.
shown as the bad guy. So this is supposed to be a launching platform. So we're going to make the show mostly about her. So hopefully she can get her own show. And if you don't like that, even though we called this Obi-Wan Kenobi and it was originally supposed to be a movie, and then we stretched it out into a 10 fucking hour series, well, you're just a bigot and a racist. You see, you begin to see my problems here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
There's a reason
fully
why I
aware.
despise Obi-Wan, but fucking Boba Fett didn't have any of that shit, even though it was essentially a Fennec Shand show, which, to be fair, I actually like Fennec Shand. It's actually not a bad character, but still,
Like Obi-Wan.
Book of Boba Fett
Obi-Wan
was
had
fucking
it- had it-
trash. It was a bad
Obi-Wan
show.
had it. Yeah, it was a bad show.
And it,
The
like
only
halfway
good
through
ones
it
that-
became fucking Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah, the only good ones that came out were The Mandalorian's first season and second season at most.
Second season, debatable. I would argue the ending of the second season, yes, but the majority of second season is side quest filler nonsense.
And then that's it. All the rest of them all sucked.
Well, Bad Batch was okay.
No, I mean those are animated though. Those.
Oh, we're
those
talking about the live action end of things.
live
Yeah,
action
no,
one?
that's about it. Yeah.
all of them suck.
Well, Andor
This
apparently
one-
is really, really good. So
this
both.
one,
I
I don't know.
fully
I think there's rumors. I think there's rumors stating that this one's supposed to be like 100 years before the.
Oh yeah, no, it's supposed to be like
fall.
300 years before the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Like this is long before. Like Yoda's is around. There's a couple of the other Jedi Council that was around during
During this
Phantom
time
Menace and the
period.
prequels. They would be alive around this time, but and this is set at the end of the High Republic.
You know what we
So-
need?
Hmm.
Hmm.
We need a series based on Revan.
As long
We
as
need
it's
to
controlled by
make sure
Disney,
behind the
I don't
public.
want them fucking touching that cool ass character. I'm sorry.
I
Even
want
if
them
he's
to
not played
do.
by Keanu Reeves, which I would love Keanu Reeves to play Revan. I think that's a really good choice.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
What I
Keanu
would like
Reeves
them
would
to
be
do
perfect.
is like what they did. It's like what Amazon did with Henry Cavill in the Warhammer series.
They're not going to do it. Disney will never cave
No,
until they completely run out of money. They will never cave.
but what like because what Amazon did is they just said we'll foot the bill. You make it.
Well, yeah, that's because
You write it.
Amazon actually does try to produce good shows every now and then until Rings of Power came to the thing.
Like, you
But-
write it. You direct it.
Then
We'll produce it and we'll foot the bill.
Disney won't do it. Disney won't give
Disney won't
powers
do it,
to
no.
directors.
No,
Oh, no.
Because as soon as they
Disney
start giving
prefers
powers
to keep a tight
directors,
control of
then
everything that they do, unless it's one of their other studios.
but I genuinely think that a Revan series, if done properly and done well, would be phenomenal.
Oh, it would. No, I
I would
don't
like
disagree
to
with
see
you. I would love a Revan series. But
Or
so
even a
long as
Malek.
Disney has a hold of this, until they fix their shit and actually get enough goodwill from my ass, no. Now, if the Andor people want to make a fucking Revan series, go for it. But Disney better not fucking touch it, other than to just say, we'll foot the bill.
Yeah,
They,
do what you gotta do.
Disney should touch. I think they should make a. I think Andor should make a. What's it called? The Old Republic movie.
A Knights of the Old Republic movie?
Yeah.
Or a Knights of the Old Republic show? No, I'd
Yeah.
go for that. That'd actually
Yeah.
be pretty good.
I
The one with
genuinely
two
just
brothers
want
who killed
more.
all the fucking Jedi and Sith.
Yeah.
I just want to see more series like for Star Wars based around the Sith.
My thing is just like, here's the thing. I love Dave Filoni. He's did a lot of goodwill for Star Wars. However, when it comes to live action, he seems to prefer his interpretation of Star Wars, which was essentially the Clone Wars. I get it. That's fine. A lot of people my age really love the Clone Wars. But the problem becomes a lot of your older, more, let's say the people that grew up with they grew up with the prequels, or no, they were already grown up by the prequels by the time the prequels came out, and they were just kind of like, oh, okay, so the prequels kind of suck, but the Disney ones, they seem like they're pretty good. Disney actually has a lot more money than 20th Century Fox does, so let's see what they do. That'd be interesting. Like, there's a lot of those people. They're the ones that are like, I'm not gonna watch a 7-season show that's animated because they're gonna think it's just for kids, even if it is Star Wars related.
Mhm.
So when it comes down to it, most of them have not seen the Clone Wars, and that's kind of a problem when you have the guy who created the Clone Wars running live action shows, and he's jamming in his characters from those live action shows. And a lot of those people are going to be like, even if you get a good actor for it, they're going to be like, I don't know who the fuck this character is. Why should I know who this character is?
Yeah.
Why should I care?
Absolutely.
And he has a hard time, if he's already set up the character, he has a hard time reintroducing the character to anybody that doesn't already know who it is. That's his biggest problem.
What we also need is a fucking Mandalorian Jedi part. Mandalorian versus
Well, we're
Jedi.
supposedly going to be getting a Mandalorian and Grogu movie, but I think that's just grasping at straws and
Well,
throwing shit at the wall and seeing
that
what
is
fits.
sorry.
What
Yeah,
sticks,
absolutely.
It's a
Yeah.
last attempt.
The
It really
wave for
is.
that has died down.
Yeah. Well, especially
Yeah,
because
but
Mandalorian
Grogu-
season 3 isn't about Din Djarin and Grogu. It's about Bo-Katan.
Mhm.
That's exactly what Mandalorian season 3 is about. And I'm like, why? Why is it about Bo-Katan? I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a cool character. I loved her in the Clone Wars. But like, it's called The Mandalorian.
It's because
and-
she's Mandalorian though. She counts
Well,
as
she
Mandalorian.
is Mandalorian. I get that, but she didn't show up till season 2. Like,
I think that's what-
you're basically making it the Bo-Katan. If you want to make a Bo-Katan show, make a Bo-Katan show. I guarantee you Disney wouldn't give a fuck. But like, it literally comes down to a situation of like, keep the Mandalorian about Din Djarin, and if you want to keep it about Grogu to kind of get some kids and get some money out of Grogu sales, go for it. I don't give a fuck. But like, come on, man. They should have kept it. Like, I understand why they brought back Grogu for the second season. I get it. Or why they brought him back for like, yes, why they brought him back for season 3. I understand that, why they brought him back technically for season 2.5, which is Book of Boba Fett, the second half. I get why they did that. I do understand it. Like, I completely get it. But the problem becomes, like, I get it because it's a sales thing. I understand. you had not necessarily a perfect ending for the character or for the show, but you did have a perfect send-off for Grogu. That was a good send-off at the end of season 2 of Mandalorian. You have him go with Luke and train. That was a good send-off.
But also it was also the whole topic of what they did with Last Hope and Phantom and the Last Hope, where they say that Luke fucking lost all of his students, when in reality the only
They
two
said that
survived
some
were
students survived.
Grogu and what's his name?
Well,
Son.
Grogu was already
Han Solo
50
fellow.
years old by the time he meets Luke. So, and yeah, he still acts like a baby. And then you also have a whole 30 years before you get to. Well, actually, I think it's like 40 years. I want to say it's like a whole 40 years before you get to the sequel trilogy. So maybe in that time frame, Grogu learned enough that, you know, like if they would have kept it that way, that you could have had it where he learned enough and he went off to go do his own thing. You know, maybe he went to try and figure out what Yoda's origin is. There's a way you could have kept them alive and still in the universe without necessarily killing him with all of Luke's other students. You know, those nameless bastards.
Even with this one, even with the whole Mandalorian thing, they still can't, because technically Grogu is part Mandalorian, but also
Well,
Jedi.
that's how they wrote it, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, if they would have kept it with just him going off with Luke, that's all we saw of Luke. That would have been fine, because that was actually a really cool like way to connect this directly to Star Wars, aside from Boba Fett. Like, that was a really cool way to connect it. Again, aside from like Yoda's race and Boba Fett and like Tatooine.
We're never gonna find out what Yoda's race is, and
we're never gonna find out. They're never gonna say it, because the moment that they come out with something, there's gonna be like 15,000 people, probably more, that are gonna bitch and moan about it, because they're gonna be like, well, actually, before Disney took over, this is what they were really called, and even then, that's not even entirely canon, because George Lucas didn't make it. And I'm like, I don't blame him for not giving this a fucking answer, because I don't think anybody's gonna fucking like it.
Nobody will, bro. Nobody's gonna like the fact that
it's one of those, it's like
it's what he is. So
it's one of those things. It's like, I don't need to know entirely how the DeLorean works in the Back to the Future movies. I don't need to entirely know how. What's another good example? I don't need to know the real power. Like, I don't need to know the entire backstory of what the Infinity Stones are. What they gave is fine. You know, I don't need to know the entire backstory of Krypton. What they show us in most Superman movies are fine. You know, I don't need to know the reason why the sonic screwdriver works in Doctor Who. It just works. You know, like that. It's that kind of stuff, right? It's one of those. It's like, you don't entirely need to know how it works.
But yeah,
that's my thing.
With this whole new one, I don't know, bro. Is it going to be good? Possibilities low. No, probably not.
Yeah.
But it looks like this one would be a lot more action-packed than the last few years.
I'm just going off of what I've heard in studio and press releases, and the person who's running it behind there, and what she said the show is going to be.
What was the show going to be?
Jedi show about how the Jedi are bad.
About how the Jedi are bad?
Yeah, it's mostly going to be like, oh, it's like we're seeing the Jedi from the perspective of the Sith, and at this point, the Sith are thought to be extinct. But at this, there's also a lot of theories saying that, oh, maybe at this point they're following the rule of two, which was introduced in the Phantom Menace. So it's like, okay, that's clever.
I'm pretty sure the rule of two was, well, I guess like on screen it was introduced in Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
but
well, and to be fair, they kind of took that from the original trilogy, because as far as we knew, their only two Sith were Vader and Palpatine.
Yeah,
and canonically, it's been around for a very, very long time.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Because
but you also got to remember, the vast majority of extended canon before Disney bought is no longer canon, except for what they cherry picked to leave in there,
which I think is dumb.
Oh no, 100%. How much lore they could have gone through with that, how much inspiration you could have had.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they shot themselves in the foot when they did that.
Oh, 100%.
That should have been the first sign. That should have been the first sign that they were going to fuck this shit.
And that's probably a good reason why we'll never get like a Revan or Malek or
Even though they have expressed interest in doing Knights of the Old Republic because it's a popular IP that they can then leech off of.
but none of it's canon.
No.
Again, except for what they cherry pick in it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that was
Yeah, but
popular.
they-
No, we'll take that.
I
They make it
genuinely want there to
Except
be
for
a-
Mara Jade, which I would have loved to have seen a Mara Jade.
I genuinely want a Darth Revan series.
Oh no, I'm right there with you. I
Like,
think you and a lot of people. A
He
Darth Revan
is
series.
he is
Awesome.
my favorite of the
Yeah, he's a lot
entire
of people's favorite.
like
And
for
I
the
think
sole
part of that is
fact
because
that
you literally, as far as I know, you know very little about Darth Revan, right?
yeah, you know very little aside from the fact that he's one of the only Jedi to go Sith and go back to the
Oh,
Jedi.
really? Okay,
Yeah.
that is interesting. Yeah,
He
that's an
he
interesting
is
character. You get the right writer and director attached to that. Oh, you have a fantastic series or movie.
he's extremely capable in use of the Force of both light and dark. He
So kind of like
has
what Mace Windu has, because like Mace Windu kind of has, there's a reason why he has a purple lightsaber. Aside from the fact that Samuel L. Jackson just wanted a purple lightsaber. But no, like they did come up. I'll give him that. Like he's like, now, do I think George Lucas as a director should have said, no, motherfucker, listen to me. You get red, you get blue, or you're a Jedi, so you only get blue or green. It's it.
Yeah.
It's all that exists.
Yeah.
You know, like that would have been fine. But
like the whole thing with Revan is that he was originally Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact thing that happened.
So he's
but
kind of like Anakin, but not the entire fault of the dark side, or
yes.
Okay.
It would have been that
he-
Anakin fell to the dark side, but also came back to the light
He
after.
slipped
he
into the
died
dark.
when he did it.
I'm pretty sure what had happened is because he was a very powerful Jedi, he
Mhm.
was kidnapped and he was kidnapped by the Sith and his memories were altered.
Oh, so it's like a Star Killer situation then.
Kind of.
Okay.
In which he believes that he is Sith. He genuinely believes it, that all
Okay.
these false memories that are in him. Now,
Mhm.
this is all I don't remember exactly, so if
You're
anybody
giving us
correct,
the
if
loose
anybody
cannon
corrects
clip
me
note.
on this, then oh well. But he Jedi turned Sith, and then he was taken back into the Jedi, had his memories restored,
Mm.
but he always kind of walked the line.
Okay.
He
There was
was
many fucking
very
Jedi
sufficient
movies,
in both
so.
the light side and the dark side.
Oh, okay. So that does make sense. Okay.
Like,
So
he-
yeah,
like with
Mace
Star
Windu is
Killer-
very heavily based off of that because they say that
Fucking-
his form of using the Force is like kind of like it's. I think someone said it's like a gray Force user because he's very mixed. Like he does take in some dark side elements in his meditations, and that's why his saber is red. Like it would have been blue if he would just went 100% went to the Jedi way. But because he did slightly go dark, that's why it's tinted purple, because blue and red together is purple.
That's also why Qui-Gon
So
Jinn
it's
is
a slightly
technically
corrupted
like,
crystal.
fucking Qui-Gon is like that too, because I feel like he believes in, he's more of a
Qui-Gon's lightsaber was green though.
yeah, well, it was green. It was green because the fact that that's what he made it as green, but also Qui-Gon Jinn didn't really believe in what the Jedi Order believed in. It was more what Dooku.
No, we're not talking about Jedi Order. We're talking about Jedi Force.
Yeah.
Jedi
light
Order and
side of the
Jedi
Force.
Force using.
No, yeah,
is
they believe
completely
the Jedi. I don't know. The Jedi Order believed that you shouldn't feel anything while being a Jedi Master. Why Qui-Gon was just like, no, you should.
The Jedi are very heavily based off of, I believe it's the Tibetan monks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They're the ones that are like, we're very isolationist. You don't have a relationship other than what we believe. You're not meant to show pain. You're not meant to really show emotions. You are essentially with the Jedi. You're supposed to be a guardian of the peace. Now, of course, they do have their own personality, but they're never supposed to let that affect them. So that's why it was always interesting, you know, like now, to be fair. Did they partly do that because George Lucas wanted to do it in the prequels and he wanted to have a forbidden love story? Oh, absolutely they did. 100%, my guy.
They just,
Yes.
they just wanted to do it. That's all it was. That's all they wanted.
Yeah,
Something like
yeah.
Dune.
So yeah, this was so this is just a little snippet of what Revan was. Um, he is he was an eminent Jedi Knight turned Dark Lord of the Sith until stripped of his true persona. He returned to the crumbling Jedi Order and helped defeat the Sith Empire that he had established.
Damn, that's badass.
So he was a Jedi Knight turned Sith, and then he was converted back by
Back to
changing
being a
his
Jedi
memories.
Knight, but he always teetered the line with what
It was
he
the
did.
Jedi that actually altered his memories because his true calling was always that of a Sith. And he
Ah,
created the Sith Empire, which, like in Knights of the Old Republic, when you see all the Sith attacking the temples, that was Revan's doing.
oh,
Darth
that's
Darth
fascinating.
Malak was the apprentice of Revan. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
And then when the Jedi implanted the false memories,
He switched back over.
ah,
Yeah. And then he had gone against the empire that he had created.
Well, that is very interesting. We're gonna go. Unfortunately, we are gonna go from this very fascinating lore session with Locke, to, well, it's certainly lore, but good God, is it gonna make a lot of you roll your eyes? So
Yep.
remember that Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie that came out a couple of years ago? That's getting a sequel that actually looks halfway decent because they actually got a bigger budget. And it actually looks like practical makeup effects instead of just a crappy mask and a guy in a mask.
Yeah.
So remember that? Yeah, that's gonna be a whole ass universe, motherfuckers. Get fucking ready. We got Pinocchio, we got Peter Pan, which, granted, to be fair, those two do sound really good as like a horror reimagining. I think those are fascinating. You also have the Mad Hatter, which is I would love to see Alice in Wonderland as a horror movie. Holy shit, that would be
Oh,
awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah, but that one you definitely need like a Hollywood budget
Would
for, in my personal opinion.
Would they go with the game though for the Alice in Wonderland?
Oh, the Alice in Horrorland or whatever.
Alice,
Madness Returns.
what?
I know which one you're
Alice
talking about.
in
It's like the
Madness.
horror centric.
Yeah, Madness
Malice in
Returns.
Wonderland. Yeah, it's Malice.
Yeah,
in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland. Madness
No.
Returns.
No, Malice in Wonderland.
Is it?
Malice in Wonderland.
I think it's Malice. No, they do call her Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, Madness Returns.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like I think that's super interesting. So we're gonna be getting twisted versions of all those characters, and then we're gonna be getting a movie titled. Well, we don't know if we're gonna get those movies first, but we are getting. We already got a poster. It's official. Good fucking God, I hate this title. They are calling it the Poohniverse.
The Poohniverse. That sounds so
Poohniverse.
fucked. That
It is
sounds so
stupid.
fucked.
It is so stupid. Here's the thing. I can't tell if this is incredibly clever to where you're going to interest people enough other than just the niche horror audience that that would be interesting to see.
It's giving me Full Moon, bro.
Oh,
it's giving me Full Moon
100%.
bro.
They're trying to bring
That's
back
what it's
Full
giving
Moon
me.
with that idea. But like, here's my thing, right? I don't hate this.
Yeah.
I hate it to a degree, like as a person, like as a decent, as somebody that would consider themselves halfway a critic, or like somebody that would prefer to preserve like really good movies. Like I believe in the Criterion Collection, that kind of thing, right? And I believe there should be far more movies on the Criterion Collection, whether they're considered universally good or universally bad. There are quite a few movies I believe that also need to be on that tier. Okay, whatever. So like I do agree to that, but like as a fan of somewhat trash movies,
it's interesting.
I kind of like this. Like I think this is interesting. I really do. I think this is super fascinating because these are characters that technically have been under copyright law for so goddamn fucking long that it's like I kind of do want to see what somebody could do with this.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Alice in Wonderland, you can technically do an adaptation of it, but the moment you make it look like a Disney version, you're done. If you're not Disney. It was the same thing with Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, the reason why they couldn't put him in just the red shirt, they had to put him in like a red flannel with some overalls, is, well, because then they had to get like bare legs. And, well, but also they could have gotten copyright struck because, well, yes, Winnie the Pooh had that design. If they would have made him, like just the straight red thing, they could have gotten copyright lawed because that particular design of
It's
Winnie the
Disney.
Pooh is still under Disney copyright. But Winnie the Pooh as a character is no
There's
longer
no-
under copyright, like the original book. So that's what it comes down to. And then I believe Peter Pan is the same concept, as well as Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. I believe it is now in public domain, which granted, I think Alice in Wonderland was always in public domain.
So people are
but I don't-
somewhat upset with this series because of actually like, oh, they can give you the Winnie the Poohniverse, whatever they want to call it, but they can't give you the slasherverse, where all the slashers like
That's
Michael,
because-
Jason, fucking.
Here's the reason behind
Yeah.
that is ultimately the reason behind why this exists. All of those characters, A, are original IPs by different studios.
Mhm.
B, are still immensely under copyright. The reason why we haven't gotten a Friday the 13th movie in a long time is because it's been in jail. Like, it's been not in jail. It's been in courtroom hell because the original writer of the first Friday the 13th, no Jason. Like, Jason's mentioned, but he's not the villain. It's Mrs. Voorhees. That guy has said, no, that name is that I own that. Like, the Friday the 13th, that's the name I own. So, but he's not talking about the Jason character. So I think that they've kind of evened it out. That's why we're supposed to be getting some stuff here and there. We don't know. But it's probably
That's why they're
not.
getting the whole series and stuff about
Yeah,
them.
so most likely if we do get another Jason project, it is not going to be called Friday the 13th because of that copyright law. But they can still use Jason. They just cannot call the franchise Friday the 13th, which sucks because that's like, usually when people think Friday the 13th, they think Jason, which
There's a movie that's supposed to be coming out that's supposed to be like Friday the 13th, but it's not.
The Violent Woods or whatever, or
Yeah.
Violent Nature. Yeah.
Violent Nature.
Except it's entirely from the perspective of
The
the
killer.
killer. Yeah, so it's basically a more serious take on what Tucker and Dale versus Evil is.
Mm.
Except that's a comedy. This is supposed to be serious. So I am excited about that, by the way. That's good that you brought it up. But yeah, so with the Poohniverse, I love and hate this idea. Because I think there's so much you can't like the characters that they are doing. I think there's so much that can be done with
There's
it.
a lot of potential there, but
Yes.
just name it something else.
Yeah, no. The name is stupid. I'm wholeheartedly against the name.
It sounds
the
like
Poohniverse. Now, if you wanted to call it like the Blood and Honeyverse, or like the Honeyverse, or the Bloodiverse, like something along those lines, like, or the BHU, the Blood and Honey Universe, that would be fine. I wouldn't mind the BHU. That'd be awesome.
The BHU
The BHU actually doesn't sound half bad. The Blood and Honey Universe.
Yeah.
I love that.
Or even go like because they're from the 100 Acre Woods.
100 Acre Woods, yeah. So
yeah. It'll be
100 Acre Woods universe.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Like I don't know. I'm torn on what the name should be. I get why they would call it the Poohniverse. A, it's ridiculous, and B, it gets people talking. I mean, hell, we're talking about it. A lot of other people are talking about it. So, like I get it. I get it.
I just feel like just bring back Full Moon if you're going to be doing this. Just bring.
Well, I don't think Full Moon ever really truly went away. I just think they stopped making movies. Like, I think they still exist. Like, they still produce stuff, but I don't think they really do as much. So, I don't know. Okay, so on to our next topic, our only video game topic actually of the night. We got our first official trailer for Marvel's 1943: The Rise of Hydra. This looks like a game that's basically going to be Black Panther going after Hydra, and I believe Captain America is tailing behind him, and they eventually meet and fight, and I'm assuming work together. So this looks like a single player game, maybe a co-op game, I don't know. But it looks interesting. I think the story looks super fascinating. I'm curious to see what they do with this. We haven't gotten a gameplay trailer, but I do love that we're getting T'Chaka instead of T'Challa. I think.
No,
or maybe like T'Chaka's father.
Yeah, that's what we were supposed to be. We're supposed to get T'Chaka's father.
Okay, what was his name? Anyways, that's besides the point. So I do love that, and I believe it's one of his Dora Milaje is also like keeping an eye on him. Yeah, I do love that, and I love that it's not just an outright. It looks more like a a gold outline version. Like it has some gold touches to the
Killmonger suit, basically.
not the Killmonger suit, because that was more like a cheetah print design. I'm talking more like similar to what Shuri wore at the end of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but with the classic design. Like the classic OG Black Panther design, just more with a gold outline. Like on the gold. And I do love that. I think that's a very unique idea. Like you don't I get that like Black Panther is synonymous with black and purple. Like I get that. But I do always love the black and gold design. It's always an interesting, unique design for my taste. Which is why I kind of like Shuri's suit in Wakanda Forever. I actually don't hate that movie. The movie's
I haven't seen it.
god awful, but it's decent.
The movie was
strong. I will argue that to my death. The middle is the weakest part of that entire movie.
It is.
Yeah, the middle sucks.
Which is what you want to be the weakest part.
True, but it's such a weak part that it does kind of drag the whole film down.
Okay.
It's kind of my same opinion with Endgame. I feel like the middle of Endgame, minus the like awesomeness of the final hour of Endgame, the middle of Endgame does really drag it down just a smidge.
The only thing
not as much Wakanda Forever, but it does drag it down a smidge. It's why I still feel Infinity War, out of the first 10 years of the MCU, Infinity War is the highest one. That is like my god tier MCU movie of the first 10 years. Infinity War is my favorite MCU movie. I think it's the best movie out of all of them. It'd be close with, well, no, Iron Man. Honestly, Iron Man has a really weak final act.
Which one, though? Because you got Iron Man 1, the first one?
First one, yeah. The first one has, like, honestly, the final act kind of drags that movie down.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's just...
It's where some of the CGI looks a little shoddy.
Huh? Or the fight scene of the movie?
The build-up to the fight scene and the fight scene.
The
very end, the I Am Iron Man, that's badass. That actually saves the ending of that movie. But like the majority of the climax kind of sucks.
I think the first and the third one kind of have a drag down.
After he's done with what he's doing in Afghanistan, that's where I feel like the movie kind of drags to a halt. That honest to God, that really is. Like after he gets the red and gold suit, until that very end. The very end like skyrockets back up. So that's just me. So yeah, but anyways, back to this game. It looks like fun. I think it looks like a fun single player game. I've been wanting another Marvel single player game for a while, and they just haven't really been making them, minus like the Spider-Man games. But like outside of that, like I think this
is mostly Sony though.
Like the Avengers game was very.
The what?
The Avengers game was very.
It had so much potential.
It did.
And I hate that it fucking ended as badly as it did.
Yeah.
Because they did start to make it a little better at the end. But that's really about it.
Too little, too late.
Yeah. That's unfortunately they dug their own grave. Like it got to the point where I think like by the time that I walked into a GameStop, this is like maybe a month or two after it came out. Well, probably 2 or 3 months actually. It'd been a while. It'd been out for about 4 months actually. I think it was about 4 months. I walked in there. It was on sale for a pro member price. It was on sale for like $5.86.
Oh, damn. It wasn't that
physical bad. Copy. Now, granted, it was used, but a used copy at like $5. Yeesh. That's pretty damn bad. Especially after 4 months.
I pay for the
You paid for
Xbox
the deluxe
Game
edition,
Pass.
Didn't you?
I pay for the Game Pass for Xbox Game Pass. And because Microsoft, you can play a lot of the games on computer as well.
Yes.
The Avengers game was on the Game Pass. So I got to try it out without ever having to actually buy it.
The story's actually not half bad. Like the main campaign is actually pretty fun.
No, it's not terrible. But it's not a game that I would spend $60, $70, $80 on.
No. I kind of got suckered into it. I pre-ordered it through GameStop and I got the deluxe edition.
I mean, we've all done.
I got it mostly because if you got the deluxe edition, you got the free steelbook, and the steelbook was actually pretty damn cool. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like the steelbook actually was pretty fucking boss. But that's
you
really
and your love of steelbooks.
I still sold the steelbook. I didn't get anything for it, but I sold it. I gave it to him. I'm like, why the fuck would I keep the steelbook for a game I don't even own?
I still have the steelbook for Gears of War.
Fair
With the
point.
steel
But
case.
Gears of War is a lot more of a popular game though.
Yeah.
So.
I'd
But
love
would
for
you guys
another
play
one.
this game after seeing the trailer, the 1943
I
Rise of
haven't
Hydra?
seen the trailer for it.
Yeah, I would. I would
Okay.
if I
Definitely
get.
check out the trailer, and then not right now. Just get back with us whenever you do.
It was
'Cause
1943.
1943 Rise of Hydra.
I would.
But while he's doing that, we're gonna go ahead and go to the next topic, unless you have a final thought, Gallus.
I mean, it looks like a pretty good game, honestly. I would
does,
enjoy
doesn't
playing it.
Yeah.
It's just that I kind of wish they would like knock off the whole War II fetish.
Why have I heard of Skydance
on-
before?
They're the studio behind the they're behind a lot of Tom Cruise movies, but primarily they did the reboot of Star Trek. The ones with Chris Pine in them.
Azuri, that's his name. The Black Panther, Azuri.
Oh, Zuri. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But I do
Nope.
like the Black Panther outfit. Not big
Yeah, I
on
know
the little
you know what I'm
cape,
talking about,
but
right? Yeah. It's got that kind of gold design, like the gold edging to it. It was still mostly black, so I love that. I love that design.
I
I don't know
don't
what it
like
is about black and
the
gold. It looks really good.
I don't like the little cape to it.
That's just a callback to the classic Black Panther.
Yeah, no, I get
Yeah.
that.
So I mean, that's the main reason why. And I get it. You know, it makes sense for the 1943 thing because like some African royalty did have capes in a lot of their stuff, so I kind of get it. But anyways, so while he's looking up that trailer, Gallows and I are going to talk about Heat 2, according to Michael Mann, is in production.
I've never seen Heat 1.
No, I haven't either. Like I haven't. I heard it's a really good movie. Like it's a really good heist film, but like
Oh, it's a heist film? Oh,
it's a
that's
heist
why.
movie, yeah.
I
It's got-
never
it's
knew what the
got,
hell it was.
Pacino, I believe it's got Val Kilmer. It's got I want to say it has Robert De Niro in it as well.
So you got Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Val Kilmer, or Kilmer?
It was a 95 film. It was directed by Michael Mann. It had Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, Al Pacino, Deneen Venora, Ashley Judd was in that movie. Natalie Portman, Tom Sizemore, Danny Trejo, John Voight. My apologies.
Danny Trejo, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Wes Studi. Okay, that's cool. Hank Azaria is in it. All right. Damn, this is a fucking packed-ass cast.
Yeah, they have a really good casting for it. I guess
for
that's why it's so
yeah,
good.
this is a fantastic cast, man. A lot of these guys would be young. Like Portman would have just been either about to start on Phantom Menace or would already be on set for it. Oh no, by the time this would have been in production, so no, she would have been
getting barely started working in Hollywood for that for that time period.
But like the top three are Val Kilmer, Robert De Niro, and Al Pacino. Yeah. So the fact that he's like, okay, so 95. I'm about to offend some people, but I mean it in the best way possible. Aside from old heads and movie fanatics, I really don't see a lot of people talking about Heat. Who the fuck wants Heat 2? I don't even think it's set up for a sequel, was it?
No, I don't. Like I said, I don't know. I didn't see the movie.
I know he's seen it. Heat by Michael Mann, the heist film.
95.
Yeah, 95.
Let the old man brain work his magic.
I know.
Just
He's probably past his bedtime. You are the oldest out of all three of us.
I'll beat both of you.
With what, your cane?
No, my belt.
Well, are you going to need your walker for that one? Do you need like an extendo arm?
I'm still mobile. Most days.
No, in all seriousness, I do forget. How old are you?
27.
Oh, you're not that much older than us.
Oh, no. You're not that much. You're like 2 years older than I am.
So fuck it.
I'll still beat both your asses though. Same time.
Yeah, it's okay. Hey, if it makes you feel better, anytime I groan or make a sound because I like pop my back or something, or I pop my knee, my girlfriend calls me old man, and she's a year older than me. So Don't feel too bad.
My ex-wife used to call me an old man because I used to fucking pop my back and I would just be like, oh, my back.
Apparently, I sneeze like a dad, even though I'm not a dad.
Very loud.
Very loud. I just like I can't fake it, but
Is
like
it only
yeah.
ever one sneeze?
There's been a couple times where it's like 3 back to back.
But usually it's just one.
It's
one
just
really
one,
loud
yeah.
one. Yeah.
It's the one atomic combustion of a sneeze. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like 6 of them just compressed together.
Yeah. It's my own version of the fucking, what was that move in Skyrim?
Fusroda.
Yeah. Fusroda!
See, I just watched that trailer, and
yeah.
my input on it is I think it looks really good.
It does, doesn't it?
It seems like it's going to be the kind of story where you are jumping between characters.
That's what I'm seeing. Yeah.
Or it's going to be like you at the
You
start of it,
choose
you
one
have your
campaign as Captain
campaign,
America, and
Yeah.
then you choose the other one as Black Panther. Yeah, that'd be interesting too.
which I definitely think that you'd have better time with you're swapping between the two.
Yeah. Then
Like
you can make it
are-
one extra long campaign instead of 2 really short campaigns.
Yeah, where you're
Can
kind
we
of
do it
potentially
after the
repeating the
sequels,
same thing.
basically?
Yeah, exactly. Which is where I feel like the Resident Evil 2 remake kind of falters a little bit. Like I get it, there are 2 vastly different things, but eventually those do lap over each other, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, but I thought I did this in the other campaign, and so it's not dead now. Like the gator, like that's the one thing I was
Yeah.
like, so it's not dead.
Yeah, no, I completely get that, and it
I get it for
definitely.
the replayability, but like I kind of don't get it.
What's the series? Like it seems like that they kind of did it with.
Shows how much we care about Heat 2, by the way.
I don't remember much.
I
of it.
don't give a fuck, honestly. I just wanted to bring it up because I'm
I've
like, well,
never
maybe
played it.
somebody be interested in it. I just don't even see the I don't see the potential, and I don't see the point. When
Well,
was,
it's
when was
gonna
the
be
last movie
30
Michael Mann even
years.
fucking made? I'm curious.
It's gonna be 30 years,
Yeah.
but like if
The
they
last
do
movie
go
that's had
off of
okay.
going off the swapping between characters, it'll very much be like how it was for the Spider-Man games, where you have your Spider-Man levels, and you have your. Now you won't be playing games. You won't be playing the same way that you would as Mary Jane or Miles in the very
Yeah.
first one, but you'd swap over and you'd see the aftermath, and as you're chasing after him, because the whole premise is that Captain America's chasing Black Panther.
Oh, Michael Mann did a lot of movies I didn't think he did.
And so Black Panther, you're doing all this as Black Panther, and then you're showing the aftermath of going a different route. You're seeing what happened. You're understanding. You're learning. You're interacting with the guards that are showing up to see what had happened.
Yeah. That, like, I definitely agree with you on that.
But it definitely has a lot of potential, and especially since it is a original story, so they can do whatever they want with it.
Okay. So I did not realize this, but that Ferrari movie with Adam Driver that came out this last year, that was a Michael Mann movie. So that's the last movie he's worked on. So at least he's, for an 81-year-old, he's working pretty well. Huh?
I said, was it? Like
that was the last
Michael
movie he
Mann
worked on so far. Aside from
Interesting.
him saying that Heat 2 is an active production. My question is, who the fuck is talking about Heat nowadays? Like, it was one of those, like, yeah, it's one of the, like, it's a good 90s heist action film, but like this would make more sense if you were talking about it, like, maybe, like in 2010, and like even then that's a stretch, like I'd say like 2005, where it's only been about 10 years. Like I could understand then talking about like potentially doing a Heat 2, but like I don't know, maybe it'll be a Top Gun Maverick situation. I was kind of shitting on that movie before it came out, and then ultimately I ended up praising that movie because it is a really good movie. But I'm just like, I don't know, man. I think the only reason why that movie did as well as it did is because Tom Cruise produced it. And Tom Cruise is he likes to make movies fun, which is why any movie that he's in, 9 times out of 10 he produces, and he makes sure that it's like, no, I want the general audience to like this. We're gonna do it this way. I feel like this way will work. If it doesn't work, I'll eat my words. But until then, we're doing it this way. And usually he's kind of fucking right. But yeah, no, it's like, I don't know, man. I I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think nobody's really asking for heist films anymore either.
No.
Like, aside from the Netflix crowd, because apparently, or well, at least Netflix producers are wanting heist films. Like, nobody's really asking for a heist film anymore.
The last heist film they actually filmed was Army of the Dead. Even at that,
Yeah, but
that
even
wasn't
then,
really
that's a heist film within a zombie film within a Zack Snyder film, because Zack Snyder's his own genre. Let's be perfectly honest here. And that movie's a mess. I enjoy it because there's so much potential with it, but there's too much going on for it to really be a good movie.
Even
And
at
also,
that,
the cinematography fucking sucks in that movie. I'm
even at
sorry.
that, if you consider Army of Thieves a heist film,
I
but even
didn't
though it's
watch
not,
Army of Thieves, but I would consider that more of a heist film. Yeah, just from the trailer. I didn't watch the movie, but just from the trailer, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely more of a heist film.
that was the last one that was made so far.
Yeah, I know it was supposed to be a trilogy, and then then he's like, yeah, I want to do this Star Wars project that Disney fucked off with, and I'm like, they're like, okay, cool, fine, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still haven't watched Rebel Moon. I heard a lot of bad things about it.
Haven't seen it either.
Mm.
I've heard nothing about it.
Is
heard a lot of good
Rebel
things about
Moon that what's it called? Knockoff Star Wars series movie?
That's what Rebel Moon is. Yeah, that's a Zack
That
Snyder
knockoff one?
project. It's
Oh, okay. No
technically
wonder.
knockoff. Well, the reason why it feels like a knockoff Star Wars is because he originally wrote it as a Star Wars script, and when Disney rejected it, he just changed it around. He's like, "Hey, Netflix, I had this idea." Disney rejected it, and they're like, "Oh, Disney rejected this? Fuck yeah, let's give it here." Because it's Netflix.
They
They're
should
like,
have.
Zack Snyder wants to make a movie with this. Do it! And it's like, okay.
Not even.
Yep, literally.
And to anybody listening to this as an audio medium, that was him throwing money all over.
Yeah, I was. That wasn't me doing. That was me doing the money thing. Just
making it rain.
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't doing anything.
He was,
else.
in fact, as the kids say, making it rain.
Yes.
I don't know what
kids say that anymore. Most people our age don't go to the strip clubs anymore. So
I've never even been to one.
Neither have I. I have no
Never
interest.
have I.
I have no interest. I feel like
I do.
I feel it's a weird male bonding thing. It's like, why would you want to bond over just getting a boner? Over
Why would I want to go into a room
with
a bunch of dudes who are also getting hard?
Yeah, exactly. And spending money on a person that I can't touch, I'm not going to go home with, and they're not going to know me in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So why?
And if they do give me attention, it's just for cash, and I'm just
exactly.
I'm like,
so I can blow more money, and then I walk out with negative 500 in my account somehow, and I'm all the less for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably go for the steaks, but at most, I've heard fucking steaks are weird.
It's the really exclusive ones that'll have the good steaks. The shitty ones, you'll be lucky to get Salisbury steak. If that. And even then, it's probably going to be a day old somehow, even though they just put it out today.
And one thing that, because Canada, our smallest bill is $5.
Oh, you poor bastards.
So,
you poor bastards.
The joke that I've always had is, are strippers here really rich, or do they get pelted with coins?
I think they're probably really rich, because most strippers get a shitload of money. That doesn't necessarily make them rich, because they might be paying their boyfriend, or they might be paying somebody else.
Yeah.
That also happens to be a man, but he also has a bunch of other strippers under his name. Because then it's technically legal prostitution.
Because we have our $5 bill, and then after that we have our toonie, which is $2 coin. And then a loonie, which is a $1 coin.
Yeah.
And then we have our quarters, dimes, and nickels.
Also, tips and tricks for anybody that wants to get thrown out of a strip club just for the meme. Get a handful of coins and say, yeah, those other guys can make it rain, but I can make it hail, and just toss it.
Toss it up and run.
Yeah, toss it up and run.
You won't make it past the guard,
but shit out of you. But I think it'll be worth it. If anybody's stupid enough to go do it, I think it'd be worth it. Make sure you record everything, by the way. Make sure you
for
record
legal reasons. For legal reasons.
For legal reasons, we're not actually condoning this. But for personal reasons, do it.
For legal reasons, Snodacast and its associates do not condone this kind of behavior.
Yes, for legal reasons, Snodacast does not condone anything, nor does Spotify, nor does YouTube if this happens to make it on there. But for personal reasons, do it, pussies. Anyways, that being said, we're going to go ahead and go into our next topic. So as far as Heat 2 goes, who gives a fuck? But sure, maybe it can be another Top Gun Maverick. I doubt it, though. But maybe. Especially because you can't bring... Well, okay. First off, Al Pacino and fucking De Niro are old as shit. Yeah, they're still acting, but I don't think they want to do another action film. Val Kilmer can't act anymore because he can't talk. So unless you want to have another Maverick cameo kind of situation, which I doubt.
Yeah.
No.
De Niro's
So,
80.
yeah, De Niro's 80. Pacino's
83.
83. Yeah.
Val Kilmer's 64, but can't talk.
Exactly, because he had, what was it, throat cancer?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Diane Venora is 71. Ashley Judd is 55.
Yeah,
Unless they make this
she doesn't
another
act
Red
anymore.
movie.
She just is an activist. But
Yeah.
we're gonna leave it at that.
Amy Brenneman is 59. God,
I mean, you could bring back Natalie Portman, but even then, I think she'd be like, I was in Heat. Oh yeah, I was in Heat. Yeah, I'll come back. Sure. What's that? I'm getting a $50 million paycheck. Oh yeah, no, I'm coming back. Yeah, no, I always remember I was in Heat. I had a lot of fun on set.
Yeah,
No.
I never forgot about it.
Funny, great motivator.
Unless they want to make another Red movie like that. Heat.
I would love a third Red movie. That'd be awesome. That movie
They
should
can't,
have.
because
That
what
would be a
the-
trilogy. Complete the fucking trilogy, you goddamn bastards.
They can't.
Well,
they
Bruce
can't.
Willis
They
isn't
can't
acting
complete it.
anymore.
Yeah, because Bruce Willis has that disease.
Never
that's
mind.
going
Keep
on.
it as a duology. Don't
Yeah,
do it.
that's the best
It's
bet.
not the same without Bruce Willis.
And
You could do it with John Travolta and what's her face, Helen Mirren, but I don't think it's going to be good without Bruce Willis.
no, not at all. But going back to the games and Star Wars, did you hear they're remastering Battlefront 2?
They already did a remaster of OG Battlefront 1 and 2. Well, not a remaster, it was a report, basically. And even then, it was terrible. It was the combo collection.
Yeah, no, they're actually doing a
doing a
one.
Battlefront 2 remastered, like OG Battlefront 2 remaster?
Yeah.
I'm down for that. Just don't fuck it up like this last company did.
Yeah. And
Let's see if it follows the curse or not. I wonder.
and then there's also Dragon's Dogma that came out today.
Oh, cool. Good for them.
That
All right,
actually
on
doesn't
to-
release in for us here EST until
Mhm.
like 10 p.m.
Mm.
So
Nice. Alrighty then. So on to our final topic. This one's interesting. Funny enough that I brought up Superman. I completely forgot this topic was a thing. There's a possible Smallville sequel series in the works. I actually
Never
don't hate
even watched
this. I think
Smallville.
this is a decent one.
Oh
You could
yeah,
do so
the animated series for it, Smallville.
Animated.
Yeah, they want to. That's what it is. It's not supposed to be a new series, a live
You could
action.
do a lot more with
series.
it instead of a live action series, because that was
Yeah.
kind of like that's the number one thing that kind of dates the OG series is because it was live action and they had such a limited budget. Oh my god, do you remember the Flash uniform? Oh
Dude,
my god.
half of their uniform, superhero uniforms were fucking. It's just like, wow,
The
okay.
Green Arrow
I get
one was
it.
the only one that was like halfway decent for early 2000s TV budget. I'll give it that. Like the Green Arrow one was like, okay, I kind of see what you're going for with the comic design, and I'm like, okay, I did legitimately kind of like that. I was like, that's actually kind of cool. The Flash one is number one. Oh my god, that dates it so bad. I'm half expecting him to go, hey, yo, you want to head to the skate park? Give me the 411 on what's going on in Smallville. I'm like, oh my god. Anyways,
it hurt me to hear you say that.
I fucking hope it did because it hurt me to say it.
If you guys want to talk about the live
I'm
action
drinking tonight.
superhero series,
I am too.
they're
It's
supposed to be
happening.
making. They're supposed to be making the Teen Titans animated series into a live action series.
I would like to see Teen Titans in live action. Aside from the Titans show, I'd like to see the actual Teen Titans in live action.
Mhm.
Not the grown-up Teen Titans. I would actually like to see a regular
Teen
Titans.
Yeah.
I don't want, Robin as a 20-year-old pretending to be a 30-year-old or a 30-year-old pretending to be a 20-year-old. That's somehow a detective. I don't know how the fuck that makes sense. But anyways, good God, I have a lot of issues. And what's sad is I heard that show actually got good. Like I heard it after the first season, it actually got legitimately better.
Yeah, there's just some shows that I've looked at and I just can't bring myself to watch.
I heard Doom Patrol is one of those you gotta go in blind. Like and I've seen some clips. I'm like, okay, it seems like it is mature, which I do like. Also, I like because it's also what mostly brought Brendan Fraser back from his career death.
Yeah.
Because he's in it. But I heard it's also like it's kind of off kilter. It's very similar to what James Gunn would do with the Doom Patrol movie, and I'm like, okay, so that's it's that kind of like offbeat, a little weird kind of like if you liked the Suicide Squad, I was told, like, if you like this, you will love Doom Patrol, and not by like an algorithm. I was told by a fan. Like I was gushing with somebody at a convention. Like I loved the Suicide Squad. It was one of my favorite new movies, and I liked Guardians of the Galaxy. And they're like, if you like that and you want more DC projects like that, where it's kind of that hard stuff, fuck Titans, because Titans fucks a lot of things. But actually give Doom Patrol a chance. I'm like, you mean the characters that got introduced in like episode 3 of Teen Titans or of Titans, and they're like, yeah, no, they're a lot better in that in the show. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance. I still haven't given it a chance, but I've seen a couple of clips. I'm like, okay, no, that actually looks fine. Like there's a scene where they go into a town and there's a guy, depending on what muscle he flex, he can do like a different power. And there's one point where he flexes the wrong muscle and everybody becomes permanently, or not permanently, they become aroused until completion.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then at first they're like, what the hell's going on? And then there's one person that goes literally, it was weird how the person delivered it, the actress, and apparently she's one of the leads. She's like, oh my god, we're fucking coming. I'm like,
I
okay,
just all right.
that's all fair enough. I chuckled at it. I was like, okay, it's legitimately kind of funny. Cool. You know, like even the robot is getting getting it on. I'm like, okay, I'm interested. I still haven't watched it, but like I heard they did finally they did finally wrap it up. But I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, as for this series becoming an animated series,
I don't hate the idea, and I really don't hate the idea if they bring a lot. Well, they can only bring so much of the cast back. One of them's actually in prison for a long time. Hell, I think it's the chick who played Lana Lane. Or Lana Lang, or whatever the Smallville love interest is that isn't Lois Lane. Yeah, no, the actress who played her is in prison for quite a while, and is also blacklisted from Hollywood.
Did she murder
she was a part of
somebody?
a cult
Oh,
that did some very bad things.
did she murder somebody?
I
Yeah.
think she was implied in the murder. I don't think she did anything, but
She
was
got
she was part
stabby
of
with
it.
the sacrifice.
I don't think I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happens. I just remember she was on the news and they kept saying former Smallville actress. I forget her name, but yeah, she's in prison. It might have been like tax fraud and implemented murder, but I have no idea. I mean, to be fair, they never got Al Capone until they got him on tax fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Al Capone got sent to prison.
When you ride it there for like a hot minute and stuff.
Yeah, what was it? He had syphilis and then he died.
Yeah.
He got released on he got early release for health benefits, and at that point he was already so far gone that probably thought his name was Lacey and he needed some high heel stockings. Anyways, so with that being said, with Smallville, Smallville is a product of its time, but it is still a really good product of its time. I can remember a lot of TV shows back in that time that were not good, that don't age well. Like Charmed is one of those few examples. I feel like it's like if you grew up with it or you watched it while it was live, I understand why you watch it. Like I get it. You know, like my mom really liked Charmed.
So I watched
the original.
I watched Charmed. Yeah, I watched Charmed.
I watched it with my mom, but at that point it had already been done.
Yeah, the same thing. Now, do I say it had its moments of cringe and unnecessary?
Oh, every fucking early 2000 show did, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Any live action thing that had to do with anything, like anytime they had to delve into special effects, oh my god. Oh my god.
Take Supernatural, for example.
Supernatural kind of embraced it though, and yeah.
Some of the special effects and everything, you can see the copy paste over the footage.
But to be fair, Supernatural was always kind of like a B movie anyway, so I kind of gave Supernatural a pass.
Yeah, I mean,
I always gave it a pass.
For what they did, they did phenomenal for it.
Oh yeah, it still should have only been 5 seasons. I'm sorry, I love the fan fiction episode, and I love a few episodes after season 5, but it should have ended at season 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree.
It should not be 13 or what is it, 15 seasons?
15.
And they're coming back with another one apparently, or they're going to be like,
yeah,
supposedly both Jared Padalecki and
Ackles
and Jensen Ackles want to come back for. I think they say they want to come back for like maybe an episode or 2 of the Winchesters, which is a spinoff that everybody fucking hates because it doesn't have Sam or Dean.
Mhm.
Shocker! I could have told you that, CW fuckheads. There's a reason why I don't like CW, but man, back in the day, they produced some good shit every now and then.
They
Except for that
did.
Birds of Prey show. That Birds of Prey show sucked ass. Arrow was good for 2 seasons. Flash was good for like a season. 2 seasons. I'll give it. Season 2 was actually not bad for the Flash.
You know that a lot
Arrow
of
fucking-
Supernatural is actually recorded in Canada,
I did know
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
in
I actually
Vancouver.
did. A good chunk of Supernatural was a good chunk of any CW show was shot in Canada.
A lot
That's
of
where CW is from. Canada.
a lot of shows are shot in Vancouver because
I'm
of,
not surprised. It's tax breaks. It's
Well,
the same
not
reason
only-
why a lot of movies shoot in Georgia. It's the tax write-off.
not only that, but there's a lot of diversity in land.
Yeah.
Like we have our cities, we have our forests, we have our lakes, we have our rivers, we have our coasts, we have everything.
But isn't most
Georgia
of
is
your
kind
land
of the
nothing
same
but fucking like unlivable land though? Due to the Arctic and the tundra?
83% of Canada is uninhabited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vast majority of Canada that is habited is nearby some port of it's close to a border of the United States.
Yeah.
Within I think it's like what 5-6 hours or so of a United States border.
Roughly, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so
roughly.
I was wondering if this was true. Is it true that you can't enter Canada if you have a ticket?
In the United States?
Yeah, if you have a ticket in the United States, you can't enter Canada.
I think if you have an unpaid ticket or if you have a warrant, then yeah, no, you can't go. You can't even go to Mexico with a
Because
warrant.
you're seen as a flight risk.
Yeah.
Mm,
Or you're just seen as a risk.
Canadians.
Well, Mexican border will do the same thing.
Yeah, that's a U.S. thing.
Yeah, that's not a Canadian thing. That's a US
Just like
thing.
how if I have any unpaid things, I can't enter.
You can't enter the US, yeah.
Because it's just laws. At least I think that's how it is. Well,
I see. My plan is to get locked down here into Texas and see if he melts.
I won't melt, but actually I might be going into Texas either this year or next year.
Don't forget the poncho.
For
Gotta
a
get a
trip
poncho.
or
Yes, for a trip.
Oh, it's for a trip. Okay.
Because
What area of Texas? I'm curious.
Yes.
Oh, the whole thing?
There's a few places I gotta go.
Is
Because
Fort Worth or Dallas one of them?
I don't think so.
What about
San
Houston
Antonio, one of them?
or San Antonio?
I
I
think
guarantee
I-
you San Antonio's got to be one of them because the Riverwalk.
Right.
Which is weird. I don't see why
Um,
people enjoy the bear block that goddamn much.
It's interesting.
I'm pretty sure
How?
Houston would be one of them.
Not surprised.
Um,
So you could visit Lewis. He's like right outside Houston.
yeah, because he lives close to Clover,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
because that's who I'd be going to visit. And then another friend of ours, Eric, he lives near the border of Mexico.
Eagle Pass.
Yeah, Eagle Pass, Brownsville,
Brownsville, Del Rio.
Del Rio. Yeah, I was gonna say Del Rio was one of them. I can remember Del Rio. Anyways, this is a conversation we could have outside the podcast.
Yes.
That being said, final thoughts on Smallville being an animated series. I don't hate that. Like
Who's gonna be
doing a
who's
sequel
the-
series, an animated series. I don't hate
So
the
who's
idea.
gonna
It's a decent one. Locke,
Yeah,
what's your
who's gonna be
opinion?
playing the
As someone
voice
that
actor?
probably vividly remembers Smallville,
I never watched Smallville.
I'm not surprised.
The fuck's that supposed to mean?
You don't seem like the type.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're
But-
more
To be fair,
Buffy the
Gallows actually
Vampire,
surprised the fuck out of me that he even liked Smallville or even knew what it was. Most
I
people,
know
How
of
old do you
it,
think
but
I am? I am 25 years old. I was
you and I
born
are the
in
same
1990.
age, Gallows. Don't forget that.
like
But
Smallville
remember,
started
you
in
were- saying, like-
2001.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
It
would have
started
been
in 2001.
That's fair.
I would have been like probably 2, 3 at most.
2001, I would have been 2. Wait, what
Yeah.
year were you born, Gallows?
98.
Yeah, you would have been like 2 or 3, depending on what time.
Yeah.
I
2
would
or
have been
3.
1 or 2.
Yeah, like it was just not.
You're
I
saying.
didn't care for that. I wanted to watch cartoons.
I always, I do remember this. Every fucking early 2000s Warner Brothers movie, I always remember the Smallville box set. The somebody save. I'm like, fuck! And it would get stuck in your head.
Yeah, I don't think
Ah.
we ever really had something like that. Like Smallville wasn't really pushed here.
Oh, it
In
was
Canada.
pushed huge in the U.S., man.
Yeah.
It wasn't
it was.
really same with Supernatural. It wasn't really
That-
Buffy
pushed
the
here.
Vampire. You seem like a Buffy the Vampire type of guy.
No,
No, that would have been
No?
the 90s. It would have been ending in the early 2000s.
What other 30?
We just
Like
had
what was it?
weird
35?
shows.
Was it channel 35 that CW was on for like a hot minute, and they moved over to like some other channel?
I have no idea.
I vaguely remember what channels numbers were.
I grew up
I
watching Looney
remember
Tunes.
25 was Cartoon
I do
Network.
too.
I think
Johnny Bravo, Rugrats.
Eddie.
Yep.
Ed, Edd n Eddy,
Uh,
yeah.
Courage the
Powerpuff
Cowardly
Girls.
Dog, Powerpuff
Oh,
Girls.
no,
Dexter's Laboratory.
I got a
Dexter's
deep cut for
Laboratory.
you.
Samurai Jack.
I got a deep cut for you. Lucha.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't seen Lucha in like a hot minute.
That scratches a weird part of my brain because
Yeah, I know, right?
Fuck.
My Life as a Teenage Robot?
Yeah, My Life as a Teenage
Mucha
Robot.
Lucha.
Mucha Lucha. Yeah, it was Mucha Lucha.
My gym partner's is an animal.
My gym partner's a monkey.
My gym partner's a monkey.
Camp Laszlo.
Yep.
Camp Laszlo. Damn, there's so much 90s and
Cow
early
and
2000s.
Chicken. Rocco's Modern Life.
Then I was
Jackie Chan.
Oh, Jackie Chan Adventures. I remember Jackie Chan Adventures.
Even
Jake
though he
Long.
did not voice act,
Jake
he
Long,
didn't voice
American
act himself.
Dragon. Yeah.
Even though he didn't do his own voice acting for that series.
I know he didn't. Trust me, even I could have told you that.
And then
I'm not surprised. His English is way too perfect in that. His English, even to this day, is still just you can hear the little bit of the broken accent, but like yeah,
Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom. Shit. They're supposedly making a live action movie.
What is it?
And the creator
Early
is it Dan
Teenage
Harmon?
Robot or
Not
something
Dan
like
Harmon. Is it Dan Harmon that created Danny Phantom?
Yes.
Think
Dan
hold
Pardon created Danny Phantom. He created Fairly Odd Parents. He created Jim and Neutron and a few others.
Then there was My Life as a Teenage Robot or something like that.
No, Butch Hartman. Dan Harmon is Dan Harmon's the guy behind Rick and Morty. No, Butch Hartman. Butch Hartman has said that he wants Tom Holland to play live action Danny Phantom.
Why?
I don't know.
I
I think Timothy Chalamet fits the look better.
Oh, what was it? Was it where he the chick, the robot dated the cheerleader, the head cheerleader chick, but it was also a big old mechanical robot.
Was that Danny Phantom?
No, it wasn't Danny Phantom.
But then there's
From Cartoon Network.
Symbiotic Titan?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a deep cut. That's like somebody saying Unnatural History. Fuck.
What was the name of the show? I used to watch it all the time as a kid. It wasn't a cartoon.
Destroy, Build, Destroy?
No.
I watched Unnatural History. It only had one season, and it pissed me off because it was actually really good for me as a kid.
Wait, Kids 4 TV? I know that one had a
Kids 4 TV. Yeah, they had a really cool Ninja Turtles show that took them out of the 90s and put them in the future.
Yeah.
I loved that. That was my favorite iteration of the Turtles, actually. But
The
aside
Looney
from
Tunes as superheroes? Looney Tunes as superheroes? Is it Looney Tunes as
Looney Tunes
superheroes?
superheroes. Yeah, they had Animaniacs on it back before, like when it was starting to die out.
And they had a few great shows. XD before Disney XD became.
Or are you talking about just XD?
Just XD.
I remember XD. I remember
before Disney
Toonami.
bought XD.
Yeah. The Snodacast for the last 40 minutes are going to be just nothing but nostalgia.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just trying to think of this one show, and it's bothering me.
Describe the show.
It was like it was boy and a girl. They would talk about like these mysteries throughout, whether it be urban legends, mysteries.
Okay, I think I'm grabbing you here.
And they would trying to remember it. Jesus Christ!
It was a Cartoon Network show, but live action.
Yes.
Goosebumps?
No.
No, that was Nickelodeon.
No, Goosebumps had Goosebumps was a Cartoon Network series for like a hot
Was
while.
it?
Yes, it was. It wasn't even it wasn't even
I wonder
Nexium.
if it was a Canadian show.
Well, okay. So hold on. Was it the Other Siders?
No.
Okay.
Was it the damn?
Well,
Can't
this
remember
is a show though for throwback. Roly Poly Oly.
Oh, I
Oh
remember
yeah,
that.
Disney
It
before
wasn't
Disney
on
became
Natural
crap.
History. I can tell you that much.
What national history show? It was about the
Yak.
Revolutionary War.
Unnatural History.
Do you guys remember the show My Dad the Rockstar?
I do remember My Dad the
I
Rockstar.
don't remember that one.
Jacob Tutu, that was a Canadian one. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Was it Tower Prep?
no.
The monster truck that turned into a robot. You guys remember that one?
Yeah, no. I remember Tower Prep. Yeah,
You guys remember
American Canadian
Townsville?
live action series aired on Cartoon Network, created by veteran animation comic writer Paul Dini. So the first season consists of 13 episodes. Okay, no, I don't need the fucking description. I need the plot.
And there's Zaboomafoo.
Oh my god, do not remind me of Zaboomafoo. I had forgotten about that series.
The Zach brothers ended up becoming the Zach brothers inside the new animated series for PBS.
Cyber Chase, Sagwa, the Chinese Siamese cat.
Oh my god.
What was the other Japanese ones? Where the factory that
There's Bobby
that
says,
almost
Detroit will
became,
destroy.
monsters
Dude,
or
what would
whatever?
happen? Unnatural History, Goosebumps. You were right, Gallows. Goosebumps was a Cartoon Network show. I remember Hole in the Wall, actually. I actually liked that show. I wanted to go on it. There's Tower Prep, Level Up, Incredible Crew. That's it.
Just type in '90s Canadian movie, Canadian cartoons.
No. He said it was live action.
Yeah, it wasn't a cartoon.
Mm.
And this is going to drive me up the wall until I figure it out.
Which
The
one was
Cartoon
the one
Network
about
wiki,
the
all we got is
Revolutionary
Big Bag,
War?
Bobby Says, Brain Rush, Destroy,
It
Build,
might
Destroy,
not have
Do
been
What Will
Cartoon
Happen,
Network.
Incredible Crew, Level Up, High Fructose Adventures of the Annoying Orange, The Other Siders, Tower Prep. That's it.
Yeah, it might not have been that then.
Mm.
Then there's Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
I remember that.
Ben
All right,
10.
that being said, I'm
codenamed
going to go ahead and wrap
Poohniverse.
this up because, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, we've been going for 2 hours. Actually, damn near 3. So, this has been the Snodacast. I have been your host, Black Chef 56. I have been joined by Locke.
I'll find this damn show.
He will, or he will die trying. I'm willing to bet he's going to die trying. But, we were also joined by, again, the non-Hawaiian shirt clad and the sleep deprived Gallows. AKA
Yeah.
Yeah. And once again, I have been Black Chef 56, and I hope this hasn't turned you off of plane travel. It's still statistically the most safest way to travel.
Can't
I fucked up that line, but you know what I mean. Anyways, this has been the Snodacast, Season 5, Episode 8, and we will see you all in the next one.